to you by Ho Chunk Gaming Madison, home of smoke-free slots and the highest payout percentage in the area. Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. More spins, more wins, more fun. And part two really feeling like a full reset for the Milwaukee Brewers. Not an ideal start to the 2025 Major League Baseball season. The Brewers torpedoed out of the Bronx. Losers in all three of the first games of the season, including yesterday afternoon at Yankee Stadium. 12-3 the final score. Jake Bauers pitched in both games Saturday and Sunday for the Brewers. That's where things are at. The Brewers 0-3, surrendering a Major League record 15 home runs to the Yankees in the first three games of the season. So, reset everything. Back to American Family Field this afternoon, hosting the Kansas City Royals for the first home game of the 2025 regular season. 1:10 first pitch. Coverage continues here on Madison's home of the Brewers all morning and afternoon long. Wilde and Tausch takes you up till noon. Brewers warm-up with Dom Catronio from noon until 12:30. That's when pregame festivities begin at American Family Field.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com. Three-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year, Jason Wilde.
Is there anything anybody loves more than agreeing with Tausch?
Packers Hall of Famer Mark Tauscher.
I got a hunch this isn't going to be concise either.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio.
I would say that you are pretty easygoing. You're actually probably more easygoing than I am.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Well, you're not easygoing at all.
Hey!
On 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
It is the Monday edition, the Brewers Home Opener edition. Usually we're somewhere for this. It's weird to be in the basement edition. But most importantly, guess who's back? Back again. Guess who's back? Thanks to all of our cousin subs of the day. Cousin subs we believe in better for filling in for him while he was gone. Edition of Wilde and Tausch. On 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, ESPNWisconsin.com, the ESPN app, your Alexa smart speaker, streaming live video, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and, of course, everything you need on WisconsinOnDemand.com and the Wisconsin On Demand app. I'm Jason Wilde in Green Bay. Jesse Nelson is in the Everlight Solar ESPN Madison studios. And from his undisclosed location, which was undisclosed for the Tausch spring sabbatical, he makes his triumphant return. He is the Packers Hall of Famer. He's Mark Tauscher. Tausch, good morning. Welcome back. How you doing?
I'm glad to be back. I'm doing good. I am very glad to be back. I appreciate your litany of cousin subs that were here. I was able to, had a very long flight, so I was able to catch back up on a little bit of what you guys discussed. Joe Thomas was great. Who else? You have John Anderson. You had Balaga.
You made it through one.
He listened to Friday's show.
Well, no. I mean,
who else did you have?
Some of them weren't downloaded, which is interesting as usual. But it was I needed a break. I'm glad to be back, and the trip. For those who I think you guys both knew, we decided to take a big boy trip, and I ain't gonna lie to you.
It's a Dubuque.
I wasn't ready, not Dubuque. That's Jesse country. I'm not gonna lie to you. I did not know. We ended up going to Japan. The family we went to Japan for we went over to Japan for
first time hearing of it.
That's definitely not true. I don't know how many days we were gone, but there's a couple of things.
We had a lot of cousins up, so
There were 68 teams in contention for the NCAA tournament when you left.
Well, I think there was 4.
Well played, Jesse.
Did you guys know
No,
that there is a spot where you're flying where it's like the international time change.
International
or
date line?
What is it called?
The international date line. Yeah.
International date line. So I have never
Well,
been
that must
to
have really
Asia.
messed you up.
Oh, I can't even begin to tell
If
you.
time zones are
How
tough, I
screwed
can
up.
only imagine.
Indiana.
I struggle when I go to Denver. I go to Denver, it's a struggle. If I'm in New York, it's a struggle. Here, we fly out of Chicago, and we get out there, and we're literally a full day ahead, but we're not. And I tell you all the time, I struggle with the lunar, the moon and the centrifugal force and all these things that move. This blew my mind, and here's what happened. So we got in midday we flew out on a Wednesday. We got in midday on a Friday. It's a 12-hour flight, which is a big boy flight. So it shouldn't be that you're a full day and a half from where you left, right? That blew my mind, and I didn't know about this Dateline deal until I looked on the flight chart little thing on your TV, and it says on there you're flying over Anchorage. Next thing you know, it's a warp. It's one of those like tunnels that you fly into, and it's a full day that it's different. So, and we get in, we kind of get situated. I'm like, all right, it's midday. All right, so we had a couple things we were going to do. Pretty tired. We go to bed, and I'm not lying. This is not me embellishing. I go to bed. I wake up, and it says it's 10:30, and I didn't know if it was morning or night. I didn't know what day it was. I legit didn't have a concept or clue what this was. So about 2 days in, I finally ended up figuring things out. We're about 13 or 14 hours / a day ahead of where this was, because I would see.
Okay.
I would see on I did not have my phone with me. I'd leave it in the hotel but I could tell when our show started. That's when I knew, okay, it's 9 a.m. back home, and that meant it was about I don't know what time that was here. Bottom line is, I'm happy
9
to be
a.m.
home
here.
because this whole thing threw me off in a big, big way.
Was our show on at like Saturday at 11 p.m. where you were, and you're like, wait a minute?
No, that part was really goofy. Sarah just texted and said we actually got in on a Thursday. I don't know if I believe her on that. I think it was Friday, but again, that's where I just so there's a lot of things that we've been fortunate. We went over to Paris and we've been able to do some pretty cool stuff, right?
No doubt.
But a lot of people speak English. No.
Except you?
It's just that's not how it is. Like,
Okay.
you can find your way around. No. Japan, hey man, you're on you figure it out. Like, you figure it out. there's not a ton of people like speaking anything but Japanese. Like that's where this was at. So you couldn't really piece that together. And by the way, I'm big. I'm a big guy in the U.S.
You're big everywhere.
Yeah, it's much more noticeable, and I'm kind of glad I can't interpret what people are saying. Hey, we're walking. You walk on the other side of the street. You get it. You can kind of. I'm pretty alert about certain things. There's a lot of people, I think, making some some commentary on my size. This maybe some other things.
Did they use the term Godzilla at any point?
No, but we went and looked at it. We went and looked at Godzilla.
What?
And that was where I probably felt most at home. So the trip was great. I'm talking like I don't know if I've ever eaten more sushi. If you can, right now is a great time to go over there from just from a cost standpoint once you get there, because the food, like, it was crazy. I had a really hard time figuring out the yen conversion. Like, I didn't know 1,500 yen. I don't know what the hell that means. And Sarah had one of those little deals in her phone that she'd click on and be like, that's if it was, the kids kind of said if it was 100 yen, we got carte blanche to kind of do, because 100 yen's not even $1. So I tried to do the math on that, but we hit a bunch of different spots. It was a great trip, but I ain't going to lie to you, man, I was glad to be home yesterday, even though yesterday would have been Monday when we were in Tokyo. So that was my trip. There wasn't any – you guys always get a kick out of crazy travel snafus. I got to be honest. Couldn't have been smoother.
And the food made the trip.
The food did make the trip. There's a lot of things about Japan that I think would be great to be brought into the U.S.
Okay, well, make that list, because I want to get that list from you. So use your little
Tuesday.
boogie board there.
Yeah. Power Rankings Tuesday.
All right, as you know, I have so many questions, because I always do when you return from these sojourns. I do want to say...
Can I go first on a question?
Absolutely.
What were the people looking like and doing when you thought they were commenting on your physical stature on the other side of the road? Like what
pointing, making grunting noises.
How obvious was it?
It was pretty obvious. I don't know if there's a certain, because again, I don't know any other than
you don't speak Japanese.
Sayonara and
you don't even know that.
I don't know. I couldn't really tell, but you know when you know, and I knew. I think that's the best way I could put it.
All right. First of all, I love that you guys get to do this. Like, we do not joke on this show about CTE, but we were talking with Joe Thomas last week and a few others. Like, this is a dangerous sport that you played. At the same time, it also affords you opportunities that your kids get to enjoy. And so I love that you do this with them, the national parks. I'm a little envious of this one because this seems, the travel and time change challenges notwithstanding, like a really cool trip to take, especially. So I hope Max and Eleanor enjoyed it because it sounds really cool. I am curious, though. So did you do anything in preparation before your departure to try and get your body to be better prepared for, because you played in the NFL, you know that all these teams, when they go far away, they start changing body clocks, they work on doing all these things. You just said, I'm just going to be me. I'm just going to live the hours that I live, and then when I wake up in Japan, I won't know if it's 10:30 a.m.
Didn't reach out to those NASA sleep specialists weren't on standby.
Did you expect me to call Coach Alvarez and say I need to not sleep on the plane?
He went to Tokyo.
This is the exact route that you did.
All those guys did. I did not. And this is a part. I literally, as we were leaving to go to our flight, I wasn't 100% because I have that nice. I'll tell you what. That bag I got from Sarah a couple Christmases ago, that I use all the time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That is what I take. Like, I'll use a little bit of space in old girl and the kids. We usually try to take 2 suitcases, right? Even if it's whatever the case may be. That suitcase or that little backpack of mine, I wasn't even sure if I was going to go vest or a light jacket the morning we left, because I want to go into these things with an element of, all right, I have a general understanding of what we're doing, but I don't want to be over encumbered by what it is going to be.
By information.
What?
So I took a light blue coat. I sometimes wear it on this show. That was the only jacket I took, and it was good. It actually was a lot hotter over there than I anticipated, and we walked. Oh, God. We put a lot of steps on again. These vacations are great for me because it is a walkapalooza.
Not for your knee.
No, my knee is – it's not Peru-ish bad, but you factor that in with the 13-hour flight. I'm going to say this. I ain't doing another 13-hour flight. Not going to do it. Not for
So when the Packers play in
period
Australia in a couple of years, we're not road tripping to Sydney?
I'd have to go to L.A. first and stay a couple days and then take, that's a little bit shorter. It's a beat-up type deal, for sure.
In the ESPN Madison YouTube conversation, there's a few folks wondering if you heard the word sumo at any point when people were pointing at you.
So,
thinking you might have been a famous
We
wrestler.
went to a sumo match, and the kids. What? Yeah, I would.
This is great.
I'll say this: I fit in very well with the
Yeah.
sumo. The sumo culture would be. No. Why has the NFL not went down that road to find sumo wrestlers to play offensive line?
Are they light on their feet? Do they have great footwork?
Are they versatile?
But the big thing is
they play center and guard.
They're strong. Your core has to be locked and loaded. I actually walked out of there, and this was, these sumo guys. I'm not going to say in my prime I would have kicked their keisters, but I think I would have. Just going to say that. If these guys,
this is amazing. I'm so happy right now.
These guys, well, Jason, they're old, washed-up sumo guys. This isn't the big
you
one.
went
that
to like
comes
the
up
Champions Tour of these
No,
sumo wrestlers.
In essence, it was more of an
Steve
exhibition.
Stricker and
There's Goosen.
It was more the guys that couldn't do it anymore. They would put on an exhibition and educate basically other Australian American tourists about the sumo culture. That was more of what it was. It wasn't like it was super hyper competitive sumo that we're talking about here, okay? Just so you guys understand.
So what,
who is the Stuart Sink?
What is the American equivalent in sports of what you saw in sumo?
It would be like a flag football game with a bunch of washed-up NFL guys that couldn't play anymore.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
it does. Yeah. That's a very dazzling detail.
The 3-on-3 basketball league.
Even worse than that. Worse. I didn't get a chance to see the high-end, like NFL type sumo guys. These guys were sumo guys that were just teaching you, and they're big, and they were doing the stuff, but it was kind of WWE-ish. Like it was all staged.
So they're washed. I mean, you could have gone up against them. You guys are both at kind of the same point in your careers.
I would have struggled probably just because I'm on one leg at this point.
Because of the flights and all the walking, yeah. All right, well, this sounds like a very odd. Were the Badgers still a Final Four team on the other side of the international date line? Oh, if we could have only gone
question,
back
isn't
in time instead of ahead. Yeah, we'll get to that. Were you, while you were vacationing, were you able to take in any of the events of American sports?
Yes, actually, it worked out really well because when I would get up at 2 a.m. because my clock was so screwed up, or 10 a.m. or 10
Should have called Barry.
I would get and I would see. I saw the results. There's no, I didn't stream it over there, but I would see on Twitter the results and the big storylines of said games, and I saw that we lost to BYU, saw that we had won earlier. Yes, I did stay up to date, and then obviously I caught some of the podcasts on the long flight back. So, yes.
And at any point, did you send a text message to Gardo apologizing to him for hexing his team once again?
I have not done that yet, no. I don't think it was me hexing. It was more the NCAA forcing us to play a road game at altitude against a team. Like that part of it, you seem to leave out the part that I also said, I know you put that quote up, Jesse, on our airwaves. I also said we needed to be in Milwaukee, and we weren't. That was a stipulation I put in that.
After the fact, after you were critiqued
No,
for it, but that's
not really
okay.
after the fact.
No, it was, but you're right. They got hosed, but that was like 2 weeks ago now, and we're up to the Final Four, and you're back, and that's all that really matters. And even while you were gone, there were still great deals to be had from Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. And it was like having a little bit of Tausch, even when he was gone, that we got to hear your dulcet tones talking about Gina Della and the team at Pella, even while you were away. But now you're here to do it live.
Yeah, indeed. And you know what? We talk a lot about unprecedented quality and service that you get from Pella. But talking to the people who work there, you can tell how much they genuinely love what they do. It doesn't matter if it's 2 days ago, if it's if it's different time, date lines, whatever it might be. Pella's team is with you from start to finish, and they don't disappear after the sale. Right now, take advantage of windows as low as $22 per month and doors as low as $89 per month. Certain restrictions do apply. This offer ends today, March 31st. Get started today at PellaWI.com.
Rob and Waukesha, I'm laughing so hard right now. This is another reason you guys have the best show. Couldn't agree more. I would pay to see Tausch grapple with a sumo wrestler. Beautiful. I think this is like if you did it in the WWE style that these fellows were doing it in, where it was kind of going through the motions and teaching. I think this would be great for Wilde and Tausch Fest, along with the other things we have planned for an event we'll never have.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you.
You've told me you're going to lie to me a lot today. Did you lie a lot on the trip, or?
Maybe. I thought these guys were saying, was it worth it, these sumo wrestlers, because they have to eat a certain amount of calories and all this other stuff. And if you don't make it to the big leagues, you don't make no money.
Oh.
And I thought, had I done this, I'm not going to say what I want to say. I think I could have made it as a sumo wrestler.
Hall of Fame?
I think I could have.
I
don't know what their Hall of Fame is. I feel like I was built
Hall of Fame
to be able to do
not
that.
the Sumo Hall of Fame.
I feel like I was built.
Do they, as is the case with a lot of former offensive linemen, not all, but a lot of them. We saw Joe Thomas, who looks like a bodybuilder now that he's not in the NFL.
Not a sumo wrestler.
Do the sumo wrestlers, once they hang up their diapers or whatever those things are that they wear, do they traditionally slim down, or do they kind of stay big hulking dudes, you think?
I didn't see a lot of big dudes over in Japan. I didn't see hardly anybody that was big.
But they saw you.
Yes, they did.
All right, we have to interrupt Tausch's stories from Japan because we have some breaking news from Brian Gutekunst down at the NFL meetings at the Breakers in Palm Beach. We will tell you what that breaking news is and how unsurprising it is next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
When you're in the right place at the right time, things get done. The important things, like knowing what you need and how it all works. Talking truck. Fixing it right the first time. At Zimbrick Chevrolet, our people get it done right and now. That's how you know you're in the right place at the right time. And you'll never overpay at Zimbrick Chevrolet.
Mark Tauscher here for Chalmers Jewelers. I've been a big fan of Scott, Garrett, and the whole team at Chalmers Jewelers for years now. I go there, my friends go there, and most importantly, my wife loves it whenever I get her something from Chalmers Jewelers. It's my go-to spot for birthdays, anniversaries, and any special occasion. For quality jewelry and a great experience, choose Chalmers Jewelers, the place to go for that perfect gift. Stop at Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
Being a Pella consultant means helping people build their dreams.
Customers really appreciate just how prepared we are. All the samples, the videos, pictures.
We are with you from start to finish. You literally have a friend from beginning to end and beyond with your project.
Our Pella team simplifies the process, taking time to listen and find the right solution for you. And right now, get windows as low as $22 per month and doors as low as $89 per month. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 3/31/2025.
My overall experience with Gruber Law Offices has been phenomenal.
The treatment was excellent.
They will be supportive of you. They will listen to you.
It was a great experience knowing that I had people to help me.
I know I could count on them to do what I needed to get done.
Experience with Gruber was great.
They gave me my life back.
It was amazing.
He gets results.
We know how to win. If you've been injured, call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Gruber Law Offices had my best interests at heart.
Hey football fans, Verizon is giving you the chance to win the ultimate draft experience with the Road to the Draft sweepstakes. 10 lucky winners will win tickets for the first day of the 2025 draft in Green Bay, including round-trip car service from Milwaukee, hotel accommodations, plus access to the Verizon viewing zone where you'll be taken care of like a first-round pick. Don't miss your chance to win the ultimate draft experience powered by Verizon. Hurry to select Wisconsin Verizon locations to enter by April 13th. No purchase necessary to enter. Must be legal U.S. resident of Wisconsin or Illinois. Age 21 years or older. Void where prohibited. For official rules and full details, visit www.espnwisconsincontest.com.
Ben Brust here to tell you about the Princeton Club. If you're looking for a place where you can better yourself while having a wonderful atmosphere, you have it at the Princeton Club. Strong communities, strong body, and strong mind. All it takes is one small step to start today. You will see that you have everything you need in order to achieve all of your goals. Find your better tomorrow at the Princeton Club. 8 Madison locations where you go in there, you take a tour, and you realize this is a place for me. Find more at PrincetonClub.net.
Starion Bank redefines local banking in Madison. As a community bank with a commitment to Dane County, experience a banking relationship where your goals are our priority. Enjoy competitive deposit and loan rates and a partnership that thrives on local engagement and support. Starion Bank is more than a full-service financial institution. It's a community pillar dedicated to your prosperity. Visit one of our convenient branches in Middleton, Monona, or Sun Prairie. Starion Bank, offering banking, lending, mortgage, and cash management.
Being a kid isn't always easy, and dealing with anxiety, depression, or other mental health challenges can make life overwhelming. At Unity Point Health Meritor, the Child and Adolescent Psychiatry program is here to help. Their expert team provides compassionate, specialized care to support kids and teens on their journey to better mental health. To learn more about children and adolescent psychiatry and explore their resources, visit unitypoint.org/Madison. Because no one should struggle alone.
Welcome to the 2025 NFL Draft on ESPN Radio.
The NFL Draft is now underway.
Live from historic Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
With the first pick.
Thursday, April 24th on ESPN Radio, ESPN, and on ABC.
The annual NFL meetings are underway in Palm Beach. Brian Gutekunst talking with a handful of beat writers who are down there. Per Wes Hodkiewicz of Packers.com, Brian Gutekunst confirming what we all knew. Elton Jenkins is your new starting center. Mark Tauscher said that 2 years ago. For those that thought that Zach Tom would be a Pro Football Hall of Fame center, that dream will have to wait for Zach Tom. It appears he'll be staying at right tackle. But with the signing of Aaron Banks, he will play left guard. And Elton Jenkins is moving to center. And Brian Gutekunst predicts he can be an all-pro at center. Tausch, you were a great offensive lineman. You could have been a great sumo wrestler, as we've already established. Will he be an all-pro center for the Green Bay Packers, Elton Jenkins?
So who is the all-pros right now at center? Because
let me get that for you.
There's gonna take a little time here. I think Elton Jenkins, had he not blown his knee out, playing left tackle, playing guard, all the stuff that he did, I thought he was on a Hall of Fame trajectory. He has been a really good football player. He's had great seasons. He would need can he be an all-pro center? Absolutely he can. I just have to think through, because center is, if there's somebody that's ingrained in there already, it's going to be hard for Elton.
Creed Humphrey was the first-team center. And Frank Ragnow from the Lions was the second-team center.
So I think Creed Humphrey's going to be that guy for a while. He's, in his fifth or sixth year? I think he's the same year as Josh Myers.
Yeah, he was a draft pick behind Josh Myers, yes.
Too. So I think it'll be tough moving forward, but I do think this is a spot Elton Jenkins has played before, and as he is going to just take hold of it and run with it and not have to bounce around, I think he's going to even be that much better. So I'm not going to put anything past Elton, but he's going to be 30 years old, correct?
He
Elton
is
29?
turning 30 this season, yes, sir.
So he's got some wear and tear on the knees. I think the contract situation there is going to be intriguing to see if they're just going to keep that steady where it's at, or if they're – because now he's going to be a really high-paid center. He was – at left guard, being paid nicely. This will elevate him, because I think this, top line centers are 15 a year. That part will be interesting as well. But yes, to answer your question, he's a good enough football player. No doubt that if he gets put in there and he stays healthy, I think he could run with this. And the reason I felt like Elton wanted to do this is because I think he feels like he can extend his career and play 7-8 more years, whereas at guard or tackle, maybe that movement, it's just different playing center. It's more mental, still a physical position, but you don't have to move and maybe do as much as maybe you have to at guard or tackle.
So last year, the 2023, the first-team center was Jason Kelsey, and Ragnow was the second-team center. The year before that, Kelsey was first team and Creed Humphrey was second team. So those two are pretty well ingrained as the top two centers in football. I want to talk more about this coming up, and then we'll get back to opening day and the Tausch jinx and everything else. But I am curious, because you just said this could allow him to extend his career. I want you to explain that to people why that makes sense. Because if he's extending his career, that would require a third contract from the Packers. And it's easy for Goody to say today in sunny Florida, he's got the ability to be an all-pro center. But when it comes time to pay him again, will he have any interest in that? I do think it's also noteworthy that when he signed his extension to stay, he signed it as a guard, and they put stipulations in that contract for his salary to increase if he became left tackle. Yep. And instead, he's going he's not moving outward, he's moving further in to the line of scrimmage. So I want to get into that. Go ahead.
No, just in the longevity question, I think center, you have to reach a nose tackle. That's the hardest part of being a center. Getting the calls out and making sure Elton's going to kill that. That is not even going to be an issue. Snapping the football and making the steps, that stuff is all going to be, I think, pretty easy for Elton. The tough part, and why I think it can extend it, you're not covered every play. You're not sitting there with, Aaron Donald or some of these other cats, Jalen Carter, that you have to block consistently and pass off stunts. The nice part for Elton is he's seen all this and understanding it. You can kind of age a lot more gracefully inside at center than you can outside at tackle or guard. I know there's always exceptions to every rule, and Elton has been one of those guys. He's an exception to the exceptions in the fact that he's been able to play every spot. But I just love the fact that he can now really just focus in and say, this is where I'm at, this is what I'm going to be doing, and I can really kind of take my skill set to the next level. And it is going to be, unless people are going to start going to, a lot of 3-4 and put head-up nose tackles and that plays right into what Elton Jenkins does. So I love this. I think this is going to help the run game and getting up on that second level, which in passing off stunts, some of the things that I thought Josh Myers struggled at, passing off stunts and some leakage inside. That's why I think the signing of Banks really illustrated that this was what was going to happen. And now it's just going to be a matter of getting together and learning and working with each other, getting that chemistry. And this group should be markedly better than what we saw last year.
In fairness, even though he is one of our guys, and we love it when he's on the tailgate tour and he comes on the show, he did not play well at center in the Detroit game when he had a start there. That was the one start he made there during the 2024 season. It was rainy, so that was part of the equation too, but he had some errant snaps in the shotgun. So it will be an adjustment for him, no matter how and he is uber talented. Sure. But there are definitely some adjustments he has to make.
And it's one thing to say one game in the middle of a season, hey, go in there and play center.
No doubt.
It's a whole other thing when you start OTAs and you get mini camp and training camp and you start developing that chemistry with Jordan and everything else. So I get it. I think it's a fair point to bring up, but I don't think that necessarily is going to kind of carry the water when it comes to, is he going to be a great center? He's proven he could play the position at a high level. I expect this now to be more, that was more rudimentary, like poli-sci 101. This is going to be advanced level that he's going to be looking at and going to be expecting him to play at a big boy level at that center spot.
Yeah, I think he'll succeed. I am super curious what his contract situation ends up being. He's got 2 years left on his deal. What does the future look like for him as he gets ready to turn 30 toward the end of the 2025
you
season?
Think I would guess they're going to want to see him play it a year and then extend him next year, or we'll also see when the draft comes. You love Monk. I don't know where Monk's at. This is
Tony
probably
Shalhoub,
you're either going to say
fantastic.
You're either going to see him get extended before this training camp, or you're going to see him play this out and let kind of the chips fall. Because if there's one thing Goody has been very consistent on, he doesn't want to pay guys third deals. He doesn't want to pay guys. He did it with Kenny Clark, and I'm guessing he's not going to say it, but I'm guessing there's probably a little bit of a maybe we should have waited and let that thing play itself out.
Yeah, probably felt the same way about Aaron Rodgers too. I would just say this: I think he is not sentimental. Goody isn't, and so no matter how much he loves Elton, no matter how well Elton has played, if he has reservations, it's not going to be influenced by his feelings for Elton, the guy, or the teammate, or those things. That is not going to come into the equation. But if he does get an extension, he'll have one of those big giant checks, and it'll have Associated Bank's logo on it because they are the official bank of the Packers. They've been there since the start, just like they've been with us from the start of our show. But more important, have Packers checking or Badgers checking or Brewers checking, they have the best customer service. They've got all kinds of great ways for you to feel appreciated by your bank. And if you don't feel that way with your current bank, make the switch. You'll get early pay where you get access to your direct deposit up to 2 days early. You got credit monitoring to make sure that your credit is squared away and you're not dealing with fraud issues. You've got fraud protection that comes with that as well. And, of course, there's the more than 30,000 ATMs that are surcharge free, so you don't have to pay to get your own money. Check out AssociatedBank.com to find out more. More with Tausch, who has returned from Japan. It's Wilde and Tausch.
The Milwaukee Brewers, the Kansas City Royals.
The pitch hit high and deep to left field, way back up and gone!
Today on Madison's new home of the Brewers, 100.5 ESPN.
Hey, Jesse Nelson, and with it being the home opener today, it is another sign that summer is coming, and it's time to start thinking for you or someone you care about a summer job. Madison School and Community Recreation right now is hiring for many positions, including day camp and youth program leaders, outdoor adventure staff, support staff for individuals with disabilities, sports instructors, my personal favorite, officials, and a whole lot more. Full and part-time positions with daytime and evening hours are available. So no matter your interest, no matter your schedule, no matter your location, there's a position for everyone. Just looking for some extra hours this summer? Check it out. See what they have to offer in the evenings. If you're looking for a full-time role, Madison School and Community Recreation has spots available for you. At MSCR, you can make an immediate impact in the community and gain meaningful experience. Start your summer adventure today. Apply online right now at mscr.org. That's mscr.org.
Welcome. The 2025 NFL Draft on ESPN Radio.
The NFL Draft is now underway.
Live from historic Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
With the first pick.
Thursday, April 24th on ESPN Radio, ESPN, and on ABC.
Mark Tauscher here, introducing Pizza Hut's new Ultimate Hut Bundle. Get any 2 medium pizzas, 8 boneless wings, and your pick of breadsticks, cheese sticks, or cinnamon sticks with the perfect dip for only $24.99. You want even more? Upgrade to large pizzas or double your wings for just $5 each. Get the ultimate feast for the ultimate value because this deal is too delicious to miss. Hurry in or order online today at pizzahut.com. The Ultimate Hut Bundle. Only at Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Your Honda gets you everywhere. When it needs service, you need Zimbrick Honda service. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it for yourself at 2 convenient Madison service locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. From simple maintenance to expert repairs, Honda certified technicians handle it all. Need new tires? For a limited time at Zimbrick Honda, you can buy 3 tires and get the 4th for only $1. Part of the Madison community since 1973. Shop local. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side. When you see Diamond Jim, you can count on him to be on your side. Selection beyond compare with on-site repair, so you can wear your jewelry with pride. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
Oh my gosh, Allie, did you look at Janet's roof? Ugh, it's like so flat. It looks like one of those roofing contractor commercials.
Who even understands those roofing guys anyways?
I like flat roofs and I cannot lie. You other contractors can't deny. TPO way up high. I'm hooked and I can't stop staring.
If you want a roof that's worth staring at, Avondale Roofing is where you go. Your roofing experts for over 30 years. AvondaleRoofing.com.
With the next pick in the big draft, Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Dane County selects you. As we count down to the draft in Green Bay, Big Brothers and Big Sisters is also counting on you to help meet the growing demand of mentorship in our community. Become a role model, a motivator, a supporter, a positive influence. Empower the young people in our community to create a brighter future for all. Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Dane County presents the Big Draft in partnership with the NFL Inspire Change. Learn how to get involved at bbbsmadison.org.
Waiting to see a general surgeon? With Stoughton Health, it's always easy access, with most appointments within a week. And with over 160 insurances accepted, you're covered and in good hands. For more information, visit stoughtonhealth.com. Stoughton Health, creating excellence together.
We're on the Badgers.
The expectations for Badger basketball that I have to let go of was the Bo Ryan expectation.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
And that's not Great Guard's fault. That's the NCAA's fault.
This is 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
Brian Gutekunst is speaking to a handful of reporters, including our friend Rob Domofsky down in Florida. We'll get to a few more of the things that Goody said beyond his thoughts on Elton Jenkins moving to center during the 10 o'clock hour coming up. Tausch, I am curious, because we did reference it, and you have been gone for the entire NCAA tournament to this point. You got back for a couple of the games yesterday. I mean, I don't know what day you got back and what day it felt like, but have you seen any basketball at all for the tournament?
No, I haven't.
And wake me up next March.
Good one. And have you seen any? It's Brewers opening day at AmFam Field today as well. They opened the season in New York, where these bats are the rage. They even were talked about on Good Morning America, so I'm all up to speed on that. Have you seen any baseball to this point?
So, yes, obviously...
you went to Japanese baseball games?
Oh, Cubs Dodgers was over there. Did you get it in time?
The Hiroshima's got a good squad. I don't remember the nickname. Carp. The Hiroshima Carps.
Okay. Like the Beloit Sky Carp.
Yeah. I don't think – I'm going to tell you this. Shohei – I realize Shohei is a big deal, right? He's a big deal.
Everywhere.
There is not any company that he doesn't endorse. And I'm talking like –
He's the Mark Tauscher of Japan.
No. I wish I was the Shohei. There are jumbotrons and I'm not going to get into because it's not an ice cream shop, but the shoe brand that he gets into, there are more of those shoes walking around. Shibashi, what's the real busy intersection? There's like this Shibuya.
I don't know. I've never been there.
Shibuya intersection, the busiest intersection in the world. Shibuya. There are more of these shoes. And I think it's because Shohei wears them. They're everywhere.
Does he have an ice cream endorsement, though?
I don't know, but I'm going to tell you that matcha. You know that matcha stuff? It's like the green. It's green.
They have that at a coffee shop that we don't mention that Jordan Schultz is related to. Yeah,
totally.
I've never had it. What does it taste like? Grass?
Nah, it's just not good. It's probably because it's healthy, but it's just not good.
How are you ever going to grow up to be a great sumo wrestler?
You're not going to get, like, you get an ice cream cone over there, and they're just pushing matcha on you like it's going out of style. It's not for me. I'm out on matcha. Don't get it. What was your question? Baseball?
You don't think matcha of that, then? All right. No, we speak of questions, we need to play trivia.
Doesn't it seem crazy to you that there's been all this analytics, and your guy Moneyball, I watched Moneyball twice on these flights because it helped me sleep. No advancement in bats forever. Yeah. Moneyball.
Wait, no. All this. I want to get into the bats later. But wait a minute. So you have you have like 13-hour flights each way, and you watched Moneyball twice?
There's only 11. Yeah.
You had no other
there
viewing
was
options?
no better movie that you could have found that you were like, I'm mildly interested in this. And I
couldn't find Shawshank. I've never seen
20 hours.
that.
Let me see if
Titanic.
I can get this.
So here's the deal, boys. This is not like the American cinema at your fingertips. There was not 7 million. Like, there was a lot of all Japanese movies. And I was just not interested. I didn't get into, the Goodwill Hunting of Japan. And maybe I would have if I would have seen it or known. There was a limited amount, and I ended up watching both Top Guns both ways and Moneyball both times on the way back. So I saw Running Point. It's a Netflix deal with Jeannie Buss. I think that show is very overrated.
Well, it's
I don't think
Kate Hudson playing someone in the style of Jeannie Buss. Yeah.
Did you watch The White Lotus with Japanese subtitles? The hotel movie, as we like to call it.
I have not been caught up on White Lotus yet. No.
Okay.
A couple episodes back. But anyways, Moneyball. Getting back to my original point, Moneyball. All of this analytical stuff, and nobody except for some fella from MIT gets hired by the Yankees and says, hey, guys, instead of getting jammed, let's make the bat wider there so you don't get jammed. We're all idiots. How do we not think of that? That wasn't that hard. Like I told you before, I used to, in wood class back in high school, I lathed a lot of baseball bats. Zzz,
how many would be a lot?
More than 2.
Okay. More than me.
Oh, the
I
big
told
lather.
Vinny this morning I told Vinny and Billstead, I think after that performance the Yankees put on the Brewers, that if you're right now in shop class, I think you should think seriously about trying to figure out how to do this so that you get the Brewers some bats. If you're in the Milwaukee area and you're studying shop and you're doing woodworking, let's get these boys some of these bats.
Come on down to Tausch's Lathing Central, and he'll be happy to help you.
You think, Timmy at South Milwaukee High School is in shop class, and suddenly he's making Jackson Churio's bat for the game tomorrow night?
Let me tell you something. Little Johnny wasn't Johnny from MIT before. He was Little Johnny at some small high school, and he ended up going to MIT, and now he's changing the game of baseball with the Bronx Bombers. Yeah.
We'll talk more about bats and vacations and what Goody has to say at the NFL meetings, but first we have to play trivia. And, Jesse, what exactly is this category? It's not questions about Tausch's vacation, right?
No, it is not, because I didn't know what Tausch was up to over his vacation. Sumo wrestling and the Hiroshima Carp, among other things. The Tausch vacation recap, like the sports weekend recap, but it's been a minute. So that's how we're going to do today's trivia.
Or 11 days.
You got 10 or 11 days to recap from, so let's see how much you were paying attention while Tausch was gone. And then maybe more fun, how will Tausch fare answering his own, unless he's asking the questions. I guess we could do that way too. Or Tausch could try and play along to see what he knows from the time that he was gone, if he didn't read them already.
All right, it is 11:51 p.m. right now in Tokyo. Okay, it's 9:51 a.m. here.
Yeah, that sounds right.
In
Just wait,
Wisconsin.
11:50 p.m.?
11:51 p.m., so it's about to be Tuesday, April 1st, in about 9 minutes there. Okay? So they are, if my math is correct, 14 hours ahead
that sounds right.
of me.
Yep.
So we will take caller 14. 844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. Caller 14 plays trivia, and the category again, the Tausch Vacation Recap. Things that happened in sports while Tausch was in Japan. We'll play next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
On the air, on demand, on social, on Wisconsin Sports. Serving Wisconsin sports fans. This is 100.5 ESPN.
Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks, and springtime is here and baseball season is officially underway. Don't miss your chance to add your favorite players from the diamond in your Prize Picks lineups. On PrizePicks, you can mix and match player projections from different sports. You can combine your favorite baseball players with players from basketball and hockey and esports and much more. The second half of the basketball season is here, and the push to the playoffs is heating up on PrizePicks, the best place to cash in on your favorite sports. Download the app today and use code WI to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code WI to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, run your game.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute brought to you by your Badgerland Chevy dealers, proud supporters of Badger Athletics. Go to BadgerlandChevy.com. Pro Football Hall of Famer and Wisconsin Badger legend Joe Thomas weighing in on college football's new landscape. During his appearance on Wilde and Tausch, Thomas with his solutions on a more level playing field in the NIL era.
It seems like there's enough people in Congress that see the problem. Who doesn't want to save college sports, right? Like, we want to see this fair, equitable, transparent, where the players are being rewarded and valued for their work and their income that they're creating for their university. But there has to be more transparency. There needs to be some type of salary restrictions and parity, fairness across the board.
Right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get windows as low as $22 per month and doors as low as $89 per month. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Football fans, Verizon is giving you the chance to win the ultimate draft experience with the Road to the Draft sweepstakes. 10 lucky winners will win tickets to the first day of the 2025 draft in Green Bay, including round-trip car service from Milwaukee, hotel accommodations, plus access to the Verizon viewing zone. Don't miss your chance to win the ultimate draft experience powered by Verizon. Hurry to select Wisconsin Verizon locations to enter by April 13th. No purchase necessary to enter. Must be legal U.S. resident of Wisconsin or Illinois, age 21 years or older to enter. Void where prohibited. For official rules and full details, visit www.espnwisconsincontest.com.
Is it Waukesha or Waukesha? Brat or brat? Is it ever okay to vacation in Minnesota? Wisconsinites can't agree on everything, but we can agree getting paid earlier is better. That's why UW Credit Union is making members' direct deposits available up to 2 days earlier. Early payday at UW Credit Union. Join today. Federally insured by NCUA. Visit uwcu.org for details.
Ben Brust here to tell you about the Princeton Club. If you're looking for a place where you can better yourself while having a wonderful atmosphere, you have it at the Princeton Club. Strong communities, strong body, and strong mind. All it takes is one small step to start today. You will see that you have everything you need in order to achieve all of your goals. Find your better tomorrow at the Princeton Club. 8 Madison locations where you go in there, you take a tour, and you realize this is a place for me. Find more at PrincetonClub.net.
Hey, it's Hunter Vaughn. ESPN Madison and Zimbrick Honda are celebrating the area's best high school sports stories with the Game Changers of the Month. Follow ESPN Madison on social media to see teams making an impact in their community. Nominate your local team today at ESPNMadisonGameChangers.com.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
Time for trivia. But first, we should probably pull last week's trivia winner. Jesse, can we play now? Yeah, hey, it happens. You know.
We were lost without you, Tausch. Things go off the rails when you're not here.
We do it when Tausch is here, too, let's be honest. So do we need to do it now, or since JC didn't play last week, we can just play?
We can do it whenever. It is irrelevant for the sake of JC and Randolph playing Wilde
First
and Tausch
time
trivia
contestant.
today. Yeah.
Well, you've got do you have it ready?
I do. Yeah,
All right, just pull your winner.
Cheese fry helmet. Blame Joe Thomas for taking up too much of our time on Friday.
Well, we spent a lot of time talking about his Hall of Fame beef sticks.
They are really good, though. Took some home over the weekend. Congratulations to last Wednesday's contestant, and that is Rick in Madison. Nicely done. Rick, you are the winner.
Rick, congratulations. Well done. Now we'll see if JC and Randolph can be this coming Friday's winner, or maybe we'll pick it on Monday, given the way our track record is. And JC is indeed a first-time contestant. JC, good morning. How you doing?
Good morning, and welcome back home, Tausch.
Good to be home.
And we're happy to have him. JC, are you a longtime listener to the show who's never played trivia, or have you tried to play trivia and just never been the caller?
I'm a longtime listener, and I do occasionally call in, but this is the first time I've been successful.
All right. Well, let's hope you're successful with 3 correct answers. I'm sure Tausch would love to ask all 3 questions, but we'll let him ease his way back into the rotation.
Good idea.
Like Brandon Woodruff coming off of his injury from last season.
Yeah, and it's midnight my time right now, too. So keep that
Indeed it is. Yeah. So question number 1, JC.
Midnight on Wednesday, which I didn't know is possible. But
no, that's not true. Question number 1. No, it's not true. Question number 1, JC, is this. Which of these number 15 seeds gave 2-seed Alabama a scare in the opening round of the NCAA Tournament before the Crimson Tide pulled away late? Was it Robert Morris, Morris Roberts, or Bob Moore?
I'll go with number 2, Morris Roberts.
JC, it's going to be a tough start for you here. The school is Robert Morris. I think they play in the Horizon League, don't they?
They do. Yeah.
They face off with the Fighting Phoenix. All right, let's bounce back with question 2, JC.
It's okay. It was a long time ago that happened.
It was like a month ago. Question 2 is this. Which NHL player is now 5 goals shy of breaking Wayne Gretzky's NHL record for most goals scored in a career? Is that player Sidney Crosby, Alex Ovechkin, or Steven Stamkos?
I'm going to go with number 2 again.
It's a good way to go. Alex Ovechkin is correct. Jesse, how many more regular season games they have left? Is he going to get it before the end of the year?
Many are speculating he will get it. I think they have almost 2 weeks to go in the NHL's regular season. So looks promising for the surging Washington Capitals.
Well, I could say if Tausch guarantees that he is going to get the goal-scoring record, that will mean he will not get the goal-scoring record. All right, question 3. Question 3, JC, is this. 16 major conference college basketball teams are gathering for an inaugural tournament starting today in Las Vegas. That tournament goes by which of these names? And I'm not going to lie, I have no idea what the correct answer is here. Except Jesse highlighted it for me. Is it called the College Basketball Clash, the College Basketball Classic, or the College Basketball Crown?
It's going to be number 1.
But is it?
Very confident there. JC sounded confident there. I just booked it, thought he was right.
JC.
Pretty lame. Pretty lame.
CBC, and then Jesse gave all CBC options, which is kind of Douchey. The correct answer is the College Basketball Crown.
Oh, boy.
Jesse, who's in this tournament? Give me the 16 teams in the bracket.
It starts today, 2 o'clock this afternoon. They've been really hyping this thing up all year long.
Which is 4 a.m. Tokyo time.
Utah and Butler tip us off at 2 o'clock this afternoon. Utah, Butler, followed by 2 teams that do not get along, George Washington and Boise State at 4:30.
Yeah.
Do those teams not get along?
They probably get along fine. At 7:30, Nebraska and Arizona State.
Just making stuff up.
Wait, so is this considered above the NIT or below the NIT?
So it was created by Fox, and the intention is to make it better than the NIT. So they're inviting only like major conference teams. So like the Mountain West and the Atlantic 10 are the lowest they'll go. So basically the NIT
but the Mountain West isn't a...
No, they are. They're more major than like the Missouri Valley and the whole Ohio Valley and the Northeastern Conference, all that stuff. So the NIT...
Where is Bradley in it?
No, Bradley was in the NIT. So the NIT's become like the mid-major deal, and now this is like for the major teams that don't make the tournament. They go to this thing, and they play in Vegas for a week.
JC, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't blame you for not getting that right. This sounds not at all appealing. I don't plan on watching it.
Georgetown,
you
Washington
love all
State.
these bowl games, but you don't like this. Like, this is literally the exact same thing as bowl
10
games.
10 p.m. tip tonight, Georgetown, Washington State. I have a hunch Jason's
Those
going to
two
have
don't
that game
like
on.
each other.
Yeah,
Those two teams don't like each other.
Georgetown
they do
and
not
George
like
Washington and George Mason. Oh, don't even get me started.
DePaul, Cincinnati.
They should start a
2 o'clock
tournament
tomorrow.
with just Georges. Georgia State. You have to have a George in your name. Play it in Mount Vernon. There you go.
Now that was pretty good. Well done. Well done to you too, JC. Even though you only got one right, these were ridiculous questions. We appreciate your loyalty to the show.
Already.
I still here.
Thanks for the opportunity, guys.
Yeah, thanks, JC. We appreciate you.
Villanova plays tomorrow. They're going to have the old coach, the new coach, or an interim coach.
They don't like this.
Who knows?
They don't like that team. Whoever Villanova's
Are they
playing,
playing
ain't gonna
Temple?
like, I can say.
Willard got done coaching in the Sweet 16 last week for Maryland. He can go to Villanova and coach in the Crown this week.
All right, that's enough of the Crown. I think we're done here. Goody with some other things to say, including regarding Jaire Alexander. We will hear what he had to say when we kick off the 10 o'clock hour. And we have a question in the YouTube comments looking for recommendations for your trip to Japan because Chris is headed there this summer. Chris, my first tip for you will be get your body clock prepared because some people are struggling this morning because it's midnight his time.
We'll have
the
less
10
sleep
o'clock
and we'll be
hour
grumpy.
/ the midnight hour starts next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
Hey, this is former Badger Brad Norton.
9 minutes of fake. Great call and great execution.
You're listening to a Good Karma Brands radio station, 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison and streamers everywhere. I'm Jesse Nelson, Sports Center, brought to you by Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison for generations. Check them out at 220 State Street and online at goodmansjewelers.com. All kinds of breaking news this morning brought to you by the Metro family of dealerships on the east side of Madison. All right, so Brian Gutekunst is meeting at the NFL meetings with the media this morning, confirming that Elton Jenkins will make the move to center with the arrival of free agent signing offensive lineman Aaron Banks this offseason. Gutekunst saying, quote, "We think he can be an all-pro center." when talking about Elton Jenkins. Also not closing the door on Jaire Alexander potentially returning to the Green Bay Packers. We'll talk more about that coming up on Wilde and Tausch here on 100.5 ESPN. Wilde and Tausch with you until noon today. Then we'll have special expanded Brewers coverage. Brewers warm-up with Dom Catronio at noon takes you up to pregame coverage on the Brewers Radio Network and first pitch at 1:10 for the home opener at American Family Field. The Brewers hosting the Kansas City Royals today after going 0-3 in the Bronx against the New York Yankees over the weekend. Wilde and Tausch continues right now.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch begins now. And it begins... How long were you gone? 11 days? Something like that?
Yeah. Well, it depends on how you look at it. 9 days if you don't go past that date line. It's 11 days if you did.
That is not how that works. And you know that. But
what makes it? Like, why did they pick that spot to be the date line?
That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that. Jesse?
Okay.
What?
Well, I'm sorry. How's it my fault that I don't know the answer to it? You're the one who crossed it.
Yeah, it seems so arbitrary that you just pick that spot and say, all right, here's a new day. This is how it works. I don't get it. All.
We'll do some research on the international date line for you.
The line was chosen to be at this location so that there would be a set location where a new day technically began.
What a weird deal.
That doesn't answer anything.
That's got to be one of the worst explanations I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Sounds a little arbitrary.
So they just spun a globe and said, stop, and here it is.
I mean, why not
it has
just
something
pick
to do with
Topeka,
Greenwich
Kansas?
Mean Time.
Like if it was Topeka, Kansas, like that would make sense too.
I'm guessing that where it is on the map, they could go all the way up and down without it like hitting any set
You think it's all water?
country. Yeah, it's like all water except for maybe a couple of small territories in the South Pacific. So that makes sense, I guess, why they would choose there.
Okay, well, let's talk about something else that is hard to understand. Do the Packers want Jaire Alexander or not? Do they want him or do they just want to try and get something for him? I would argue that this answer from Goody, who spoke earlier this morning at the NFL meetings with a group of beat writers, including Rob Domofsky and Wes Hodkiewicz and a few others, I would say that this answer sounds to me like he just wants to get something for him and that he doesn't necessarily want him back. Tell me if you agree with that assessment. Here is Brian Gutekunst via our friend Rob Domofsky.
So John Thornton's his agent. We talk weekly about these things and working together on finding the best solution for everybody. Obviously, we invested a lot in Jaire, and we want to make sure that if he's not going to be on our football team helping us win games, that we get something back for that investment. So we'll see where it goes. But again, working with him weekly and trying to figure out what's best for both Jaire and the Packers.
I'm trying to think of a time where someone, yes, the birds in the background is always my favorite. I remember when I used to go to that event. That was nice. Tausch, I don't remember a lot of times where a guy was referenced as if he's not on our football team. Very rarely are you spoken about that way, even though there's a chance you might not be on the football team. That does not happen very often, where the general manager refers to you and says, if he's not on our football team, we'd like to get something for him for the investment we've made in him. What does this tell you, if anything? Am I misreading this?
No, he's gone. He's not going to be on this team. And if there is no money that will dictate what there's not a roster bonus deadline. There's none of that. That usually triggers the release, the trade, whatever it's going to look like. And I think Brian Gutekunst, they've managed the cap well enough that they are in no rush. And maybe Jaire and his team are asking and wanting, certain things. And at some point, Green Bay wants to get at least a little something back. I thought it was going to be a stretch to get that, whether it's a conditional, whether it maybe teams will be more likely to do something if they can conditionalize it after this year's draft and figure out maybe it'll work into next year's. I don't necessarily know exactly, but it definitely sounds like the Green Bay Packers are going to move on, and they're just going to move on in the way that is best for them, not for Jaire and his team, and they're trying to figure out what that might look like. I don't know if that means Jaire needs to, restructure a deal. I don't know what exactly those conversations are other than, hey, if the Browns give us a 6th-round pick, are you willing to negotiate and get a deal that the Browns feel good about? It could be a number of things, but none of what Brian said right there would make me think that he's going to be back with the Green Bay Packers in the 2025 season.
He subsequently said that they have some time. He would like to have a resolution before the draft, which is less than a month away. And on the idea of him remaining a Packer, it could be a possibility, absolutely. So it absolutely could be a possibility that he remains a Packer. I'm sorry, I'm not seeing it. You don't talk about players that you might be keeping in this manner, and that I think is the reality. If and when he does move on, remember we talked about this so long ago that you were still on the show, you had not vacationed yet. The varying opinions on what he is worth. I subsequently had another NFL executive get back to me who said they're just going to have to release him. No one's going to give up a pick for him.
Schneider.
I'm not divulging any of them. There were multiple people. There were not just one. There were 4 now total.
Zoe. Was it Zoe?
So, if they just end up releasing him, Goody's not getting
wasn't that always going to be the case? Because there's nobody. Somebody might trade for him, but they're going to want to redo his deal, and the Packers have not been very poker-ish about their intentions of what they're going to do. So I just think, you see what other guys are getting traded for and where that stands. Jaire has not been able to stay healthy and play. Mm-hmm. Whether somebody would take a flyer or not, I thought maybe you could get a late pick when whoever you were talking to was saying 3rd or 4th-round pick. I thought that was just crazy talk.
Yeah,
I think that's going to end up being the case. So, the idea that, boy, it would still be awesome. Green Bay hasn't made any monster moves. They got Hobbs. I keep forgetting it's been a while. Is it Hobbs? Dobbs.
Steve
Hobbs.
Jobs.
Nicole Hardman.
They're kind of snobs.
Well, so Hobbs comes in, and that I don't think is all of a sudden, everything's set. You're still going to add people with the draft, and I think there's this hope that everybody has this epiphany that, hey, nobody really wants you. Nobody is going to give you the opportunities that we right here in Green Bay have. Let's figure something out. It doesn't feel like an epiphany is coming.
No.
And that's unfortunate, but I think the epiphany happened with the Jeff Hafley hire, and unfortunately, it wasn't epiphanized to the degree that everybody felt good about, and that's why you move forward.
All right, there's a few other things that Goody has said. Our friend Rob Domofsky has already sent me his portion of the transcript, so thank you, Rob. I appreciate that. We'll see what else he had to say when that comes through. But there's a couple of other clips circulating on Twitter, a couple from Ryan Wood of the Green Bay Press-Gazette about where the defensive line stands, which Goody says something interesting there, and then this tush push stuff as well. So we'll get to all of that as we roll on. It is also Brewers opening day. At some juncture, even though you and
Nice that they got that roof.
You're an
Gotta thank that
NBA
roof.
guy. Yes, they do. And that's a very nice accoutrement, especially as someone who used to go to County Stadium for opening day every year. And it felt like it would snow just about every year and be bitterly cold. We'll get into a little bit of opening day stuff. We have programming throughout the day, us notwithstanding, leading into the Brewers Home Opener. And we are going to have the play-by-play from your flagship, 620 WTMJ, across ESPN Wisconsin as well. So be sure to tune in for baseball later on today. But before that, we want to get to some more Packers-related topics that Goody discussed down at the owners' meetings. We'll get to those coming up after sorry, I'm looking at the wrong hour of the show. My fault.
Well, it is.
You can tell us about whatever you want.
AM. It's 12:18 a.m. Tokyo time.
But I'm not. I'll be honest. I'm not used to scrolling through and seeing a number of things that I'm reading as opposed to things that Tausch is reading.
Yeah.
And I was expecting something from him, but there isn't anything there. So guess what? I'll read something to you a little bit later in the program. We'll get to more of what Goody had to say. Stick around. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Mark Tauscher here from one of my favorite places, Pizza Hut. From settling in at the opening tip to an extra slice during the 7th inning stretch, make the delicious options from Pizza Hut the perfect addition to any game day this time of year. Having the whole crew over to your place for the night, or getting home just in time on your own to see your team in action. Well, either way, Pizza Hut has you covered. Order the original stuffed crust pizza, the OG, the GOAT, the one and only. Others try to copy, but none are like Pizza Hut. Take advantage of this championship deal right now at Pizza Hut. You can get a large 3-topping stuffed crust pizza for just $11.99. Well, you know I've loved Pizza Hut going back to the days when I was a kid participating in their legendary Book It program. It was great then, and it's great making new memories with my family now. Hurry in or order online today at pizzahut.com. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
On the air, on demand, on social, on Wisconsin Sports. Serving Wisconsin sports fans. This is 100.5 ESPN.
Hey, it's Riley Yauk. Stay in the know on area high school sports and follow ESPN Madison on Twitter for Prep Mania on Deck, each week's preview for the top games and events. Prep Mania on Deck is brought to you by Zimbra Honda, a proud supporter of high school sports and local communities.
Being a Pella consultant means helping people build their dreams.
Customers really appreciate just how prepared we are. All the samples, the videos, pictures.
We are with you from start to finish. You literally have a friend from beginning to end and beyond with your project.
Our Pella team simplifies the process, taking time to listen and find the right solution for you. And right now, get windows as low as $22 per month and doors as low as $89 per month. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 3/31/2025.
Panic strikes as you realize on Wednesday that Thursday is your anniversary. The reservations being secured.
We'll see you at 8.
The gift being purchased. Yeah, you've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with early pay up to 2 days early on direct deposits. So even though they call you Last Minute Lisa, we'll make your last minute scrambling a bit easier. You've got this with early pay from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Look, we all know that as we age, our bodies change. But Carbon World Health can help. They have a process of testosterone replacement therapy that includes a diagnostic exam and blood tests to assess your hormone levels to make sure that they are optimal for you, not optimal for your age. Carbon World Health can help you increase your energy, focus, and overall health with their approach to hormone therapy. It's all about quality of life for you. Learn more at carbonworldhealth.com.
Looking to join an international quality golf club right here in Madison? Discover TPC Wisconsin, an instant classic in the heart of the Midwest. With a course co-designed by Steve Stricker and PGA Tour Designs, it's the 13th and newest TPC Network golf club in the world. Other high-quality amenities include a short game practice area, athletic performance center, and meeting and dining facilities, plus membership benefits that reach around the globe. Schedule a tour at tpcwisconsin.com and start your journey to a lifetime of priceless golf.
Skilled trade workers are the backbone of every community, and also the Army National Guard. Soldiers trained to keep the power flowing, engines running, and in every other trade needed to accomplish the mission. These soldiers are on the fast track to learning skills that can set them up for success at home with companies looking to hire the best. Their resumes are being built through their paid training and part-time service. Find out how you too can learn a trade profession by visiting NationalGuard.com. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard. Aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
Gruber Law Office. One call, that's all.
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 Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
One call, that's all.
The Milwaukee Brewers, the Kansas City Royals.
The pitch hit high and deep to left field, way back up and gone!
Today on Madison's new home of the Brewers, 100.5 ESPN.
Uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. I said uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up.
Mark Tauscher is back from Japan. Brian Gutekunst is in Florida talking about the Green Bay Packers, talking about the Tush push. We'll get to some of the other things he said via a few of the folks that are tweeting these out from Florida. I am curious, Tausch, and this was going on back while you were still stateside, and that's the Tush push. And we'll hear from Goody and the reasoning behind the Packers putting that forth. But I feel like this has been maybe, I don't want to say misinterpreted, because you can say whatever you want. If it wasn't effective, I don't think there would be a push to ban the Tush push. But I do think it's important to remember that Mark Murphy not only is trial balloon guy before he steps into retirement, but he's not an owner. And so the Packers being the bad guys, if you want to look at it that way, of being the ones that brought this as an actual proposal makes sense, because it doesn't create all these billionaires that get in a room. Because I went to the NFL meetings for 20 years. Maybe someday I'll get to go back, but it's a lot of big ego rich people, like rich people who aren't used to having people push back on them on things. And I'm guessing that Jeffrey Lurie, the owner of the Eagles, if this was Jerry Jones or John Mara, one of the fellow owners in the NFC East that brought this forth, I'm guessing there could be some heated exchanges. There have been, according to Kalen Kaler, already heated exchanges in the meetings down there about this proposal. And for Mark Murphy, this is his last time even going. So they can be as pissed as they want to be at him. And then he can leave. Yeah. What do you make of how this has played out to this point?
So I think there's obviously teams that it doesn't benefit that aren't going to like it, but kind of what you said, you don't want to kind of put your name on that as being, well, stop it or do something about it. My point was on this whole thing, I have never been one where, you know what, if you're going to run something and people can't stop it, shame on them. And that's why for college football, the overtime rule, I've always thought that was good. Or the NFL, you need to be a well-balanced team to win a championship. Philadelphia is really good at this. I think Green Bay could be. I think that's, I think you're looking at when you bring Banks in, how physical and big. The reason Philly, they all think it's Jalen Hurts. Mm-hmm. Well, they also have their interior part of their O-line is very physical and roots people out. But the turning point has to be, and I said this 100 times after the NFC Championship game, you can't have an official go on air and say we are going to award a team a touchdown if this continues. You can't do it. And that's what the tush push has gotten. You're going to get desperate. And yes, there's no injury data yet to show that this play is more dangerous than others. It is. I can tell you it is. But I heard Tim Hasselbeck on ESPN this morning kind of get into, well, there's a lot of things, short yardage and all this other stuff, and that's fair. But you can limit some of the things, and it's taken me a while to kind of get out of the former player mentality of, well, stop them or do this, into the entertain me mode of where I'm at in my life, and most fans and everybody else this is where you've been for a long time. This is not entertaining. It's not. And you see more of it as this goes when it gets to be 4th and at 3 inches or 4th and a foot, whatever it might be. When you can have officials get up there and say, we are going to award you a touchdown,
Yes.
and all of the other stuff, that right there should be eye-opening. And if I'm Mark Murphy and I really care about getting rid of this, and I think he does, get up and just play that tape 1,000 times and say, what are you going to tell Las Vegas? What are you going to tell your fans? What are you going to tell all of our gambling partners about doing this? You can't have it. And instead of sitting there and waiting for some big event to occur and all of a sudden millions and billions of dollars switch hands because Gene Steratore says, well, that's going to be awarded a touchdown because these guys keep jumping off sides, I don't think that's the look the NFL wants, and I'm kind of imploring them to be proactive. You can still quarterback sneak. You can still do what you want, but you can't barrel in 15 dudes and say, let's shove here and try to get a first down. I think that needs to go, and you can still emphasize quarterback sneaks and doing the things that will make it, you can still attain the goal of getting the first down without putting it in this position where you're going to have big, bad problems come down the road.
Look, I want to give Matt LaFleur and the Packers a bunch of credit, not for bringing this as a rule proposal change, but for thinking outside the box themselves with how they want to handle these types of plays. They don't want to get their $55 million a year quarterback injured. So they motion Tucker Kraft, a high school 9-man or 8-man football quarterback, under center. He takes the snap. He's a big, burly dude. You get good push from your interior offensive lineman, and he picks up the first down. He was 6 for 6 doing this. And he didn't have Josh Jacobs and Jordan Love behind him pushing his little tushy, which is not so little. He just did it on his own. So I think there's an argument to be made to say, look, there are other ways to do this, but they still have some of the same dangers, right, of going low with the blocking and whatever else. You're not going to eliminate that.
I don't never am I going to say you can't quarterback sneak.
Right.
That should be in play, but you've already, and I feel like we've relitigated, and now are going to relitigate the relitigation of this. You've banned pushing defensive linemen on on field goal blocks.
Right.
Do you want to get to the point where you're going to say, bring in all these big D tackles and just have a show? You're going to turn it into a rugby scrum in the middle of these plays. Is that aesthetically something that the NFL wants to continue to go down? I don't know. I would think not, but usually these things will work themselves out. But all I would do for everybody that is advocating for Mark Murphy's resolution, continue to play that official getting on microphone, on air in an NFC championship game. Imagine if it's a 3-point game and Philadelphia is behind. And all of a sudden, Washington jumps offside 7 times and they award them a touchdown.
Right.
And Philadelphia wins by 4, going to the Super Bowl on an awarded touchdown because of this. Can you imagine what Monday morning is going to look like on every media, radio, whatever? Like, is that what you want? And just go to everybody outside of Sirianni and the Eagles, because they should be up on their podium saying what they're saying. Just say, is this what you want? Is this what you want? Because this is where it's going.
And look, I give credit to Dan Quinn and the Commanders because they had nothing to lose, right? The ball was moving like a centimeter at a time. Jump the snap, maybe you get lucky, and if they penalize you half the distance and it's a centimeter at a time, then maybe one of the times they're going to fumble the snap.
Or a false start and they lose 5 yards.
Right, exactly.
The other way.
I have no problem.
Analytics would tell you jump the snap every time, and if you're wrong, A, they might miss it, but B, who gives a rip? So, yes, it's different on a 4th and inches at 50-yard line, but when you get down there, you have no penalty to just keep doing it.
Correct.
And then if an official jumps in and does that, and just wait, I mean, it would be bedlam on top of bedlam if that's what happens.
All right, we'll hear a few of the other things that Goody had to say down at the NFL meetings. I am very curious, too, about something that he said. I think it was Ryan Wood from the Green Bay Press-Gazette who posted it, about their defensive line group and how they have everything they need to be productive and successful. We'll see if Tausch agrees with that. We'll see if we can
almost book that an edge rusher's getting drafted at the 23 spot. Then.
Well, if an edge rusher is drafted at the 23 spot, you could be there in person when it happens, thanks to Verizon. Verizon is giving you the chance to win the ultimate draft experience with the Road to the Draft sweepstakes. 10 lucky winners will win tickets to the first day of the 2025 NFL Draft right here in Green Bay, including round-trip car service from Milwaukee, hotel accommodations, plus access to the Verizon viewing zone where you'll be taken care of like a first-round pick. Don't miss your chance to win the ultimate draft experience powered by Verizon. Here's what you got to do. You got to get into one of the participating select Wisconsin Verizon locations, and you got to enter by April 13th, which gives you, I think, 2 weeks from today to get your entry in. There's no purchase necessary to enter. You must be a legal U.S. resident of Wisconsin or Illinois, and you must be 21 years old or older to enter. Void where prohibited. These official rules and full details can be found at ESPNWisconsinContests.com. We'll get into the Packers' defensive line having everything they need, or do they? Coming up, it's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Mark Tauscher here for the great team at Everlight Solar. I'm here to tell you about 2 significant switches you're going to want to know about. First, remember, the radio home of Milwaukee baseball has changed this year to 100.5 ESPN. And second, let me tell you about how my family made the switch to solar energy with the great team at Everlight Solar. We'd been thinking about making the switch for a while, but we weren't exactly sure where to even start. That's when we met with the Everlight Solar team, and they outlined the entire process and educated us on the benefits of making the switch. It was super simple. Join us in saving a ton of money and creating a greener environment for our family and the community by switching to solar. Save money and help save the planet. Learn more and schedule a free consultation at everlightsolar.com. That's everlightsolar.com.
We're on the Badgers.
There are moments where it feels like you're close, but taken holistically, those look like blips.
Because we're on Wisconsin Sports.
To win a championship, you have to consistently be that team.
This is 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
Listen to Madison Money Guy every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. on 100.5 ESPN and ESPNWisconsin.com.
I like to refer to inflation as the silent killer. It's an invisible risk. It's just the idea that things get more expensive over time. You're going to need milk and eggs when you're in your early 60s and when you're in your early 80s. You're going to get a loaf of bread, and it's going to be more expensive 20 years from now.
Christian Finfrock is the Madison Money Guy. Call him today at 208-1800.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
Jim Rutledge here, and I want to tell you about the Bruce Company, Dane County's premier retailer of outdoor furniture. They'll help you elevate your outdoor living space like they have for me. Exceptional craftsmanship, all the latest styles, colors, and durable materials that hold up to whatever Wisconsin weather brings. From deep seating to dining, pick your set and the Bruce Company will customize it to fit your style. Visit their furniture showroom in Middleton and let their trained staff help you bring your outdoor dreams to life. The Bruce Company, your outdoor living experts.
The madness has arrived at Metro Ford of Madison this month. Get behind the wheel of a 2024 Ford F-150 with 3.9% APR for 66 months plus $2,000 flex buy cash, $16.86 cost per thousand borrowed. Or drive away in the 2024 Ford Escape with 1.9% APR for 66 months plus $500 flex buy cash, $15.97 cost per thousand. Don't miss out. These offers end March 31st. Head to Metro Ford of Madison or visit metrofordofmadison.com today.
Get ready, Madison. The Packers Tailgate Tour rolls back into town on Wednesday, April 9th. Hey, it's Molly Brown from Jim, Matt, and Molly. Join us in supporting Dairyland Sports, a Madison-based nonprofit improving access to sports, fitness, and recreation for individuals with physical disabilities in Wisconsin. Learn more and support the cause at dairylandsports.org/Packers Tailgate. And stay tuned to ESPN Madison for your chance to win VIP tickets to the Packers Tailgate Tour. Sponsored by Visit Verona, Paul's Party, and ESPN Madison.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
We're on the Brewers.
They're really good at identifying talent. They're really good at developing talent.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
This is one of the best organizations in Major League Baseball.
100.5 ESPN.
'Cause I'm a hazard to myself.
Tausch will deliver some of his Japan vacation tips as a public service. So if you're in the YouTube comments, Chris and others who are curious for your suggestions, also retired Navy fella, I could recommend things, but those were sailor things back in the day. So Tausch went with his family, slightly different. I do want to play this, and thanks to Ryan Wood of the Press Gazette for posting this on Twitter. These are not press conference quality audio clips.
Nobody, I don't know if I'm the only one that notices this. Nobody does more press conferences in non-press conference settings than the Green Bay Packers. Like Goody last year when he was talking about the team going to Brazil, and this one this year at the NFL owners meetings, and there's the tailgate tour impromptu deal that you go to sometimes before Mark Murphy gets on the bus. Like, I feel like all these other teams do formal microphone in front of face, like easy to hear press conferences. And the Packers are always like, let's go under this tree.
No, Jesse, these are writers taking video. Like, if you look, there are TV stations or TV crews that are there, and they have the microphone that they're holding close to Goody. If you take a video, and again, I'm not complaining about Domovsky or Matt Schneidman or Ryan Wood taking video because I'm not there to give you this, so we appreciate that. But it's just them doing it on their iPhones. Like, it's not high tech.
I'm signing us two to go next year. I'll be your on-site engineer, tailing you around. You ask the questions. I'll have a little switchy thing that we can put in front of them, and we can actually get some high-quality sound from these things.
So in the precursor to Wilde and Tausch, Green and Gold Today, which you could listen to way back in the day, I did go, and it was at the Breakers in Palm Beach, And back then, Nolan, one of our great teammates, who's now on the marketing side, was working for our West Palm Beach affiliate. He was there. He was that guy for me. Like, he was doing all the technical stuff, and he worked a lot harder and complained a lot less than you do when we're on site. So that was great.
So where are we going next year? Arizona?
I think we go west next.
Listen, this is not a shot at anybody, but Jason ain't going anywhere. What are we doing? Like, we're done trying to coerce Jason into going places. Like, that's just not going to happen. So if he's not going to go down to Florida with his family, he's not going to go down to West Palm to chase Goody around for 15 minutes under some tree with birds chirping. It's not going to happen. So, Jesse, I don't know why you do this.
I did this for 20 years. I have been to the NFL.
But it's
I used to go to
over
the
now.
NFL meetings every year. Virginia McCaskey held a little baby
You
Maddie.
did a lot of things 20 years ago you don't do now.
Well, that was
it's
only
all right. It's just not where you're at.
No, I will say this, and we were I'm not here to put your business on the street at all.
Look at that.
Yeah, it was a good-looking
Britney
fella back then.
Spears.
It's a great jacket, too. I was at the state gymnastics championships on Saturday, and I would have been traveling to Florida instead for these meetings. And I was a nervous wreck, but it was great. And it was a great moment. And I don't want to miss that kind of stuff because sooner or later the girls are going to be off at college.
Nobody's saying you should.
Well, I would have had I gone down to Florida.
I'm just telling Jesse to stop asking. It's like, you know what? At some point, I'm not going to ask you to golf.
Well, let's just send Jesse.
200.
How about we just send Jesse?
No, I don't think.
I'll be Domovsky's assistant for the week.
That way we get the content. You can make sure that the quality of audio is up to your standards. And we can have somebody that we like producing the show producing the show.
Hey, Goody,
Riley.
Let's go talk over here in this building, in this room, instead of by the semi-truck that's gearing up to take off over here, huh?
Well, it's a bus. But, yeah. Look, again, I understand that you have standards that you feel are important. The bottom line is that we are just happy to have the audio that we have to work with here from the NFL meetings. And I want to play this clip of Goody talking about the defensive line and how they've got everything they need and see if Tausch agrees with the Packers GM. Listen closely because it's not ideal audio. But if someone with those types of skills could enhance it, we would appreciate it, Jesse. Here we go.
I think we can do everything we need to do through the players we have on roster right now, because I think there's a significant amount of improvement for those guys, not only in year two of a scheme, but just I think individually as well. So we've invested in that quite a bit already, and I'm excited to see the growth that those guys will have. If the draft happens to bring us, some more ammunition in that category, great. But I don't think it's something that's necessarily we have to go chase.
So he's expecting a big jump in year two of the system. We have everything we need. Is that true? Do they have everything they need? They've invested 4 first-round picks in Devontae Wyatt, Kenny Clark, LVN, and Rashawn Gary. So they've certainly invested everything they have into that group. Do they have everything they need?
Well, last year they didn't. And it was year one of Jeff Hafley's system. So I do expect that to take a jump. And I still think with the versatility that you have at the linebacker spot and potentially at the edge, Lucas Vaness, to me, will be the key to that. And I know you're probably thinking, well, if you're banking on Lucas Vaness, trouble's brewing. And you can feel that way, and I'm all right with that too, because he did not have that monster jump. But you have first-round picks. You, again, and we've said this a million times, first-round picks have to prove over and over and over again that they can't play. Seventh-round picks, undrafted guys, it's the opposite. But the Hafley defense, and I think Edgerrin Cooper is going to be a key to this whole thing. You got Quay. If you can get him and Edgerrin Cooper out there together in those passing situations, and you can really vary what you're doing, that will give opportunities to these other guys to win up front. But the big question mark coming into this offseason was, outside of receiver and corner, can you get home with 4 versus good football teams? The answer last year was no. Now, I thought Hafley did a good job in certain respects of, showing certain things and simulating things and getting some pressure against bad teams and bad offensive lines. Not so much against the Minnesotas and the Detroits and the Phillies. And this defense needs to get better winning one-on-ones when the money's on the table. They didn't do that. Rashawn Gary, he needs to be better. All of Kenny Clark, all of these guys. But I think there's 2 players that Goody is kind of banking on. And that's Wyatt and that's Lucas Vaness. And if those 2 don't take that jump, I'm not sure what difference you're going to see from that front 4, quote-unquote, winning one-on-ones. It has to be those 2 guys because I think at this point we know Rashawn Gary, we know what Kenny Clark does, we have ideas on Enigbare and on Cox and all these other guys, but it's going to come down to, are your first-round picks going to elevate and be guys that are difference makers? If they're not, I'm not sure what Goody is thinking.
Well, I do want to explore a little bit more your thoughts on LVN because I thought your insight on him when they first drafted him was really good, and then you also thought, okay, he's going to have to develop more beyond his strong like bull pass rushing moves, and having blocked plenty of guys in your day, I thought that was really important, and I haven't seen that happen. So I want to get into that coming up. And get your thoughts on how confident you are in that possibly actually perhaps happening. Before we can do that, though, get your dialing fingers ready. We got another giveaway with the draft coming right around the corner. Jesse's standing by, much like he was for our Thanalysis ticket giveaway, which, by the way, by all accounts, Thanalysis was super fun and had a great time. Giannis got there after apparently his wife gave birth shortly earlier in the day or something, from what I understand. So this will be fun as well. It's the ESPN Fantasy Focus Football Podcast. It's going to be right here in Green Bay for the draft on April 23rd. Field Yates, Daniel Dopp, Mike Clay, Liz Loza, and Stefania Bell are coming to do a live show at the Tundra Trio. And ESPN Wisconsin wants to send you and a friend up to Green Bay to see the show happen live. So right now, caller number 11. Caller 11 at 844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. Caller 11 gets 2 tickets to ESPN's Fantasy Focus Football Live at the Tundra Trio. See the show up close, meet all the hosts, get complimentary food and beverages, and the Fantasy Focus Football Podcast merchandise. That's caller number 11 right now, 844-770-3776. Visit ESPNWisconsinContest.com for full details. We'll get into LVN a little bit more next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
We're on the Badgers.
It was successful, but also disappointing. That's just what this season was. I don't think any of us went into this season going, they're going to be a 3 seed. They're going to be really good this year. They're going to be competing for a Big Ten championship again.
This is 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
Mark Tauscher here for Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie, the name you can trust. Well, it's the time of year when everybody is thinking about travel. Whether you're still finalizing details for a spring getaway or you're already on to thinking about where you'll be heading for a summer road trip, don't let vehicle maintenance be what slows you down. Make sure your vehicle is in its best shape possible every time you're getting ready to hit the road by stopping in to see the amazing service team at Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie. Routine maintenance is critical for keeping your vehicle in the best shape possible. Oil changes, tire rotations, tune-ups, and so much more. Get it checked out before you hit the road so you're not stranded when you're away from home. And if you're in the market for a vehicle upgrade, check out Zimbrick Chevy's new and used vehicle inventory. You can start your search by logging on to ZimbrickChevrolet.com. Stop into Zimbrick Chevrolet on Main Street in Sun Prairie and discover this great automotive team I've been telling you about for years. Consistently recognized as a best of Madison operation, Zimbrick Chevrolet on Main Street in Sun Prairie. The name you can trust.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute is brought to you by Steinhoffels. Shop Beautyrest Black mattresses at Steinhoffels. The new Beautyrest Black is only $42 per month when you use Steinhoffels 60-month financing only at Steinhoffels. A changing system. Pro Football Hall of Famer and Wisconsin Badger legend Joe Thomas weighing in on college football's new landscape. During his appearance on Wilde and Tausch, Thomas with his solutions on a more level playing field in the NIL era.
It seems like there's enough people in Congress that see the problem. Who doesn't want to save college sports, right? Like, we want to see this fair, equitable, transparent, where the players are being rewarded and valued for their work and their income that they're creating for their university. But there has to be more transparency.
Right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get windows as low as $22 per month and doors as low as $89 per month. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
Get your team together. Softball is back for 2025. Hey, it's Jesse Nelson. Registration for Madison School and Community Recreation's Adult Summer Softball Leagues is now open. Men's, women's, and all-gender slow pitch and women's fast pitch leagues are forming now for the summer season. MSCR Softball Leagues offer fun for every level of player and welcome all participants. Spend your summer evenings with us on the diamond. For more information and to register, go to mscrsportsleagues.org. That's mscrsportsleagues.org.
Attention business owners and executives. Looking for a bank that's invested in your community as you are? Look no further than Starion Bank. As a Dane County community bank, Starion offers competitive deposit and loan rates while actively supporting local initiatives. Visit a business banker at one of our convenient branches in Middleton, Monona, and Sun Prairie. Starion Bank, full-service business banking, lending, and cash management.
We're on the Packers.
You still want to see that steady play, that steady improvement, and you didn't get it from Jordan Love?
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
That just makes the stakes that much higher this season.
Nobody covers the green and gold like 100.5 ESPN.
You have a winner for the tickets to see ESPN's Fantasy Focus Football podcast at the Tundra Trio?
We do. It was a very coveted prize. Phone line lit up right away. Congratulations to John in Sun Prairie, who is our first winner for that contest, heading to the Fantasy Focus podcast in Green Bay in late April. I think we'll be picking some more winners throughout the course of this week, so stay tuned if you still want a chance to win. John was actually caller 12. Caller 11 did not want the tickets to the podcast, but he did want to say that we should stop calling Lucas Vaness LVN because he's not good enough to warrant a nickname that sounds cool.
Wow.
Good timing on calling in to share that with us. Thank you, whoever you were, caller 11. Congrats, John, caller 12. Kind of like we crossed the international caller date line to get to who we needed for the Fantasy Focus podcast contest winner.
We will delve into whether he's deserving of a nickname and whether he will make the jump when we kick off the 11 o'clock hour. We can't do that, though, until Tausch tells us about his love of Coors Light, which I think inquiring minds want to know, among the important aspects of your trip to, were you in Tokyo?
Yeah, a little Tokyo, a little Hiroshima, a little Kyoto.
Were there
Japan,
any?
Japan is bigger than I thought too. You know how I told you when we went to Australia, I thought everything was because again, if you don't live there, you see it on a globe and you're like, oh, that's not that big.
You look at a lot of globes, do you?
Big globe guy. Big globe.
But you just discovered the
Love
international date line, which, by the way, I have some answers on.
Oh, good. We can get to those at 11 o'clock hour. Do they have Coors Light in Japan?
I did not see Coors Light in Japan. There's different brands that I'm not going to get into, obviously.
I understand,
the one
sure.
big one. I missed it. So that will be on my to-do list this week. Coors Light brewed with a 3-step cold process, cold lager, cold filtered, and cold packaged, so it is made to chill. Born in the Rocky Mountains of Colorado in 1978. Not Mount Fuji, but in the Rocky Mountains. Coors Light is refreshing. It is crisp. It is only 102 calories. That's why it is Coors Light in my hand when I need a moment to chill. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
All right, during the 11 o'clock hour, we'll discuss Lucas Vaness, undeserving of initials. We will get Tausch's travel tips if you're planning a trip to Japan. What are the must-do or must-not-do, must-avoid? What kind of preparation he wishes he would have done for the time change that he endured of 14 hours.
There's no preparation to account for that. It's like going through an NFL season. You have to go through training camp. You have to go do it. If you're going to go on you can't go to training camp. What am I supposed to do? Stay up? That's crazy talk. That's just crazy talk.
Well, some might say preparation. Some might say crazy talk. And we will get definitive answers on why the international dateline is where it is. That's all ahead in the 11 o'clock hour, so stick around. It'll actually start somewhat on time. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Mark Tauscher here for Chalmers Jewelers. I've been a big fan of Scott, Garrett, and the whole team at Chalmers Jewelers for years now. I go there, my friends go there, and most importantly, my wife loves it whenever I get her something from Chalmers Jewelers. It's my go-to spot for birthdays, anniversaries, and any special occasion. For quality jewelry and a great experience, choose Chalmers Jewelers, the place to go for that perfect gift. Stop at Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison. This is Derek Engler. You're listening to a Good Karma Brands radio station, 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison and streamers everywhere. I'm Jesse Nelson, Sports Center, brought to you by Celebrations Entertainment, complete event services for weddings, corporate events, nonprofit events, outdoor movies, casino nights, and much more. Go to celebrationsentertainment.com to get started today. A morning filled with breaking news, brought to you by the Metro family of dealerships on the east side of Madison. First, Brian Gutekunst meeting with the media at the NFL meetings in Florida, sharing this morning that it is confirmed Elton Jenkins going to make the slide over to center this year with the addition of Aaron Brooks on the offensive line. Plenty more from Goody, including the potential for Jaire Alexander to stay in Green Bay. Check it out. ESPN Packers reporter Rob Domofsky with the latest from Florida over at ESPNWisconsin.com. Also, some breaking news, transfer portal for Wisconsin men's basketball today. Wisconsin guard Daniel Freitag is entering the transfer portal. Played in only 14 games this year, one of the top recruits for the Badgers men's basketball team coming in from last year. And, of course, it is Brewers Home Opening Day. Brewers Royals 1:10 first pitch special expanded coverage starts at noon after Wilde and Tausch, which continues now.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch begins now. All right, let's talk Lucas Vaness, then we'll get to Japan and Brewers opening day, home opener. Already played their opener in New York. That's all still ahead, along with Wonelli. But Tausch, are you a doubter now? Because no one accurately predicted the pick swap that occurred in the 2023 NFL draft as part of the Aaron Rodgers trade. And it appeared that the Packers might have been better off at 15 if they would have taken Will McDonald there, because he's had a much more significant impact for the Jets than Lucas Vaness has had in Green Bay. He is going into year 3. He was, I would argue, even less productive in year 2 than he was as a rookie. What do you make of where his arrow is pointing, and what is your feeling about him as we move into this critical year 3?
So I think the concerning part to me isn't his rookie season. I thought his rookie year, he showed a few things. I remember he chased Justin Fields down. He did some things that you're like, all right. And you just look at it, and everybody wants everybody to be Aaron Donald right away. Kenny Clark took a little time to develop and figure things out. You have to kind of figure out, all right, how do you win? I think old Hendrickson, who everybody would love to have in Green Bay, another great example. He wasn't Trey Hendrickson in his first couple seasons.
You're right.
So let's not just say, oh, he stinks, he can't play. But the concerning part is, at the end of the season, his rep count wasn't where you would want it to be for somebody that you felt like at the end of year 2, coming on, you'd think would be playing more than maybe what we saw. And whether that's Enigbare or at least from an impact standpoint, because rep count-wise, I think you had given me these stats earlier. He played in like mid 30% of the snaps.
So he played
over the course of the season.
I've got it in front of me here. For the entire season, and then I'll get you, because your point that you're making is an important one and a good one. For the entire season, he played 428 defensive snaps. That was 39.3 of the overall defensive snaps. That is fewer than Rashawn Gary. That is fewer than Kingsley Enigbare. That is only slightly more than Preston Smith played, and Preston Smith was gone for the second half of the year because he was away. Kenny Clark played more. T.J. Slayton played roughly the same amounts. Carl Brooks played more snaps than Lucas Vaness.
Yeah, and he should. And I think Carl Brooks has been somebody that we've seen do bigger impact plays than Lucas Vaness, LVN. So
we don't have to not do that, by the way.
No, I understand, but I think there is, there's a laziness to saying LVN rather than saying Lucas Vaness from a name standpoint. Anytime you have a foundation that you can build an NFL career on, that's your starting point. And I'm not saying the reason that Matt LaFleur thought we need a new defensive line coach is because of Lucas Vaness, but I'm definitely not saying it's not. You have somebody here that has, put the math together, date line it up, and it'll make sense. Your job as an NFL player is to play to your strengths and continue to work on your weaknesses so that they become strengths. And I think Lucas Vaness is somebody, he's strong, he's an athlete, he's all of the things you need. But when I said when they drafted him, it's going to be up to him to find those counters, to find the moves off of it. You don't need to win every snap. You play D-line, you play D-end. You set things up, and with that power he's got, you have an inherent advantage on other players because all of a sudden you pop people, they have to set their anchor, and that's where you get the hand swipes. And you get an offensive lineman, much like the Sumo game. If you get their feet stopped and you're moving forward, you're winning. All right? You get an offensive lineman's feet stopped and you're still propelling yourself ahead with an arm swipe or something else, guy has to anchor down and all of a sudden you then get a dip and rip or do something else, you're going to win. And he has just not done that enough. And that's where I start wondering if you look at the D-line coach and say, we need someone with a different mentality and different ideas to help spur him, spur Wyatt, spur some of these guys on so that we get more wins one-on-one, because all you can ask for as a D lineman, just give me a one-on-one and let me go hunt. Let me go hunt. And guys are getting hunting opportunities, but they're not bringing back. They're bringing back enough to eat, but you're not getting that bounty. You're not getting that on the old Oregon Trail game. You're not getting that Buffalo where you're packing all that meat and you're salting it away and you can keep it. The big boy games, you got to win. You ain't gonna. You ain't winning. You ain't getting to championships eating squirrel. You need to eat buffalo.
So you made the point from the very beginning, and then we'll move off of Lucas Vaness after this. You made the very important point at the very beginning of his career about what you just talked about, the idea of adding to working on your weaknesses. It doesn't. Did you learn in the NFL fairly quickly that guys that were just, I don't want to say one-trick pony, but guys that were all bull rush were easy for you to handle? Easy is not the right word I want there either, but easier for you to handle because they didn't have a diversified approach to try and beat you.
So it was always, for me, I wanted players to play with power. Now, if you were all speed, but I didn't have to worry about you bull rushing me and, beat me that way, I could maybe bail out and get out a little bit quicker and not have to keep, the same sturdiness that you need if you have somebody that can do both. The reason why those guys are such great pass rushers is they force you out of your comfort zone. If it's a guy that's all speed, all right, get out there and, all right, I'm not going to be maybe as strong to take on your power, but your power is not going to affect me the same. If you have somebody that can get you to have to anchor down on the power and then still have enough speed to beat you, or the hand swipes and all of the other things, that's when you take your game to that next level. And I think right now, Lucas Vaness, I think everybody appreciates his power, but if you're only about power, a lot of big, strong guys, a lot of big, strong fellas that are going to be able to absorb or punch, take that on, and not really have a ton of problems with it. And your job as a D lineman, and I remember Jethro Franklin, our old defensive line coach, always just saying, just get those guys uncomfortable. Don't let offensive linemen get comfortable. I was comfortable if I could be two kicks and I'm sitting there and I'm centered up on somebody. I felt like I was going to win every one. It was where I was a half a step behind somebody, and that put me in a position where I'd have to bail, and then you could easily use your power against me, or you could slip back inside because I'm bailing out because I'm worried about your speed and your power. If I'm only worried about one thing, your job as an offensive tackle is a heck of a lot easier than it is if you got to worry about multiple.
All right, so that's your advice for Lucas Vaness. What is your advice for Chris and others in the YouTube comments who are interested in traveling to Japan? Check out the sumo wrestlers. Eat lots of sushi. What else do you have on your recommendation or avoidance list?
I'll say this. The thing that I was probably most impressed with, besides the culture and the food and the efficiency, man, you talk about efficiency, their train system, once you can read and figure out where you actually have to go and which lines you have to get on, I mean, it is smooth. The vending machine game over there is next level. I don't know how they do it, but utilize the vending machine. You get a taste of their culture, their stuff. They have vending machines that got hot drinks, they got ice cream drinks, they got sodas, they got waters, they got fruit, they got it is an amazing thing. They got sandwiches. You don't have to go to a restaurant. You just go to, and there's vending machines everywhere. Where that power comes from, I have no idea.
So they're like on the streets, like there used to be like
Everywhere.
newspaper boxes?
It's
and I just get a sandwich
you
out of the
would be-
machine?
But they're not like our sandwiches. Like, it's just different. Like, they're good.
Well, is this like the Italian pizza thing?
No, I'm telling you, their stuff in these vending machines, my kids, all they really wanted to eat, Max wanted to wolf down sushi, so did Eleanor.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
But they were fine. If we would have said it's vending machine only today, they would have been fine. Or, the amazing part of it was you could get, and it was ice cold. And then it was like piping hot. I don't know how many
two different
vending
things.
machines
Sure.
but in the same machine. Different rows. They had hot row, medium row, cold row. I don't know
the
what the hell was
Goldilocks
going on.
vending machine.
Jason, there are vending machines in every quadrant, and I don't know where the power's coming. I don't know if it's like hooked up to the and then you go into their subway system. It's like they have towns, like shopping malls underneath at these train stations. You go in there and you think you're in the Hobbit world. You go down there and there's like different. It's just I can't fathom. You go to a subway in New York. You don't want to get urinated on, and there's poop, and it's just rats. Here you go down there, and you could like live down there comfortably. It's just a different world.
So you're
another piece of advice. I didn't know this.
Sure.
We went somewhere that you get these sulfur eggs, and it's supposed to add 7 years to your life. Yeah, I thought the same thing. It
Wait,
smells
did you-
sulfury.
Did you bring them back?
Sounds
Did you
like a
eat them?
Jack and the Beanstalk type situation here.
No, we ate them, and they're phenomenal.
Do you get 7 for every
They're
egg?
good. Well, that was one thing. We ended up getting 8 eggs. I don't know what we did with the other 4.
You ate
We all ate
sulfur?
one. Well, I don't think they were sulfur, but it smelled sulfury.
Is it guaranteed?
And they're black. They're black. No, there's no guarantees in life, but they say that
It's like
they
Prize
recommend
Picks.
this will give you 7 extra years. So go try these 7-year Japanese hard-boiled eggs. That would be a thing that I would say.
Okay.
What else did I write down?
Yeah.
They don't have garbage cans. There are no garbage cans anywhere.
Well, what do you do with your garbage?
You got to really hunt. Like, you got to hunt. You find a vending machine, you trip. You find a vending machine, but you try to find it somewhere to put the can or anywhere else. You got to be in a train station in a certain spot, and they're just, how we have garbage cans everywhere we look?
Does seem like that,
That ain't
yes.
the case. It's not the case.
All right, one last Japanese question, and then
And
we're
they're
going to...
egg yolks. I was going to do...
Yolks
I
on
was
you.
thinking about, the egg yolks are so much redder. And I found out they feed their chickens paprika. They put paprika
are you
on
making
their food.
this up?
Sounds made up.
Google it. No, Google it.
I did
Do the
find
Japanese feed their chickens paprika? That's what I'm searching.
Yes.
The sulfur egg has a name. Awakadani.
called?
Awakadani.
That could be. That sounds right.
An active volcanic valley in the famed Hakone region. I don't know anything about Japan.
Yeah, Hakone. It's Hakone. Come on, Jesse. It's Hakone.
I just said I don't know anything about it. I don't know what I'm saying.
Kind of like Tausch knows nothing about this paprika thing, which has been debunked.
It's customary to
And
say a
you have
prayer
to go
and then
check
eat
out-
an egg.
You got to check out Mount Fuji. Mount Fuji's a special place. That would be my other recommendation. Enjoy the vending machines. Be very cautious on any type of garbage because you can't find anywhere to put it. There's just no garbage. Try the Japanese egg. And what are you talking about? It's been debunked. You don't think egg yolks are different in Japan?
While it's a popular misconception, Japanese farmers don't typically feed chickens paprika to achieve brighter orange egg yolks. Instead, the color comes from a natural diet rich in carotenoids, like those found in corn, alfalfa, and marigold petals.
So that was a misnomer. That is a myth that
Apparently.
my entire family believed and was told because we asked when we found
Some sort of
someone that spoke English.
somebody selling. Did they try to sell you paprika? at the end of that conversation?
No, they
Magic
weren't selling
eggs?
paprika.
Paprika. Delicious. Any protein muffins in the vending machines?
That's not bad. And did you know this? If you get their strawberries and the fruit, they don't put preservatives. So they are just strawberries, right? And once strawberry season's done, they don't have strawberries. Like, it gets, we have strawberry seasons pretty low here. I don't know what, usually May to July. Japan, it's a little different. But once the season's done, you ain't eating strawberries. Like, you're eating what's fresh. At least that's what the strawberry salesman told us.
And they all taste like paprika. Okay. I want to get to Brewers opening. Z and the D, that's what I'm trying, bro. Trying. It is opening day. Brewers Home Opener, which is on across ESPN Wisconsin, in addition to, obviously, the flagship 620 WTMJ. When you're in Japan, can you play Prize Picks?
I don't think so.
But you're back home.
But it is available in more than 30 states here.
There you go.
And the app is simple to use. And you can create a lineup. All you got to do is pick more or less on at least 2 player stats, and you can win up to 1,000 times your money. And I love baseball. I know Z and the D just said baseball season. I always have liked that first inning. More or less 1 run, more or less pitches. Prize Picks has continued to advance in baseball. You can combine your favorite basketball players with players from baseball and hockey and esports and much, much more. The best place to cash in on your favorite sports. Don't miss your chance to cash in on the league's best right now for playoff positioning in basketball. You got opening day, home opening day for the Brewers. Download the app today. Use that code WI. Jesse, I'm gonna tail you today on a Brewers Prize Picks projection. Whatever you pick, I'm gonna tail today. And you can also do that. Use code WI. You can get $50 instantly. All you got to do is play your first $5 lineup. Again, that's use code WI on downloading the Prize Picks app. Use the code WI to get $50 instantly. Prize Picks.
Run
your
game.
You're back.
Been a minute since we did that.
Speaking of games, the Brewers play a game today against the Kansas City Royals. A lot of AL games to start the slate for an NL team that used to be in the AL.
What kind of bats? They got torpedo bats or no?
I hope not.
We will discuss that.
If they do, it's going more.
It's torpedoing the Brewers pitching staff. It is the day of the home opener. We'll talk baseball, Z and the D, and others looking for that. Next, it's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Hey, it's Jesse Nelson here to tell you about Pepsi and Pepsi Zero Sugar. If you're on your way to the game right now, the home opener out in the parking lot, the perfect tailgate beverage is a Pepsi or Pepsi Zero Sugar. Also, proud partner of the NFL and the NFL Draft. And with the first overall pick, Pepsi is selecting Pepsi Zero Sugar. It's just 4.8 inches tall. It's 12 ounces. But here's the best part, the best stat for Pepsi Zero Sugar: 0 calories, 0 sugar, but still all the same great taste of Pepsi. It's so good. Pepsi's bringing back the Pepsi Challenge for the NFL Draft. Just check out the NFL experience and put your taste buds to the test. Again, whether you're tailgating a baseball game, the draft, or anything in between, enjoy Pepsi and Pepsi Zero Sugar, proud partner of the NFL and the NFL Draft.
It's time for the Milwaukee Basketball Report on 100.5 ESPN.
Lillard's going to tee up a 3, and he splashes it through for the left wing.
Brought to you by Michelob Ultra, the official beer of the Milwaukee Bucks.
The Bucks' losing streak now has run to 4 games after a pair of losses over the weekend, starting on Friday night, a 116-107 loss to the Knicks at Fiserv Forum, and then once again in Milwaukee, a 145-124 loss to the Hawks. Here's head coach Doc Rivers.
You know, I told our guys before the game that any game we score 120, we should win with our defense. And obviously I was wrong. I don't love how we're playing right now. And we have to get it back. We have to get guys to see what we see and we will.
They'll look to pick things back up as they finish out a quick homestand on Tuesday night against the Suns at Fiserv Forum.
This has been your Milwaukee Basketball Report on Madison's home for Bucks basketball, 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Michelob Ultra.
Hey, it's Riley Yauk. Stay in the know on area high school sports and follow ESPN Madison on Twitter for Prep Mania on Deck, each week's preview for the top games and events. Prep Mania on Deck is brought to you by Zimbrick Honda, a proud supporter of high school sports and local communities.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
Outside In. That's what we call our Outdoor Living Unlimited showroom at 2018 South Stoughton Road. All the cool stuff you want outside in your yard displayed inside. Patios, decks, pavers, and an automated pergola, fire pit, outdoor kitchen, a putting green, and in-ground pool. Even a converting 3-season room that's either outside or inside. We are Outdoor Living Unlimited. Your outdoor living potential awaits you at our Outside In showroom, 2018 South Stoughton Road. OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
Hello, I'm John Hayes, the owner of Goodman's Jewelers. It's been my pleasure to serve this community from this incredible store for over 4 decades. We stand upon high standards and classic traditions, pillars like honesty and integrity. Stop into Goodman's Jewelers, the longest-standing full-service jewelry store in the heart of Madison at 220 State Street. Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison since 1933.
The best is at Goodman's.
March is bonus time at Audi Madison. Save $3,000 on select 2025 Audi A3, A4, A5, or Q7 models. Save $4,000 on select 2025 A6, Q5, or Q8 models. Customer bonus applied towards the purchase or lease of a new Audi, but is only available until March 31st. Stop in and test drive today. Check out AudiMadison.com to see current inventory and specials. Start your adventure at Audi Madison today, off the Beltline and Rimrock Road.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
So while Tausch was away, a lot of things happened on this side of the international date line, including the Brewers starting their season in New York against the Yankees. I think I saw a tweet at one point from Adam Schefter, who I guess he's a Yankees fan, that Aaron Judge was on a pace to hit 308 home runs this season. And with those new bats, he might actually get there. I am curious, Tausch, since you were disconnected, now you come back. What are they, 0-3, right? After giving up 15 home runs in that 3-game series? Right. What were your expectations, and in any way have they changed for the 2024 Brewers? Because we had Jeff Levering on, who always finds time for us. We love Jeff on this show. And I think he's bullish on this team too, but not a great start. What about you?
Yeah, it's the Yankees are the Yankees, and obviously, not a great start for the Brewers, but the division that we're in, this team, you're expecting a lot of the young guys that played really well last year to continue on that trajectory. I think the question is going to be pitching and whether or not you end up getting anything close to what you saw last year. It definitely didn't start that way. Doesn't mean it won't finish that way. So I trust Matt Arnold. I trust the brain trust over there that this is going to be a team that will, be right there when it gets to be September. But I don't think you're going to see the same consistency from what you saw last year in the pitching ranks. And I hope I'm wrong, I think it's going to be a slog, and I just hope that when we get to be late August, early September, we're right there. I don't think you're going to see us run away with anything like we did last year. But I'm not going to fall for the, oh, my God, the world is ending because we gave up 15 home runs. Obviously, it's not ideal, but that stuff seems to equal itself out over the course of the season, and I think that's what we'll end up seeing.
Especially if you get some of those bats. Jesse, you are a diehard Brewers fan. Your dad was an usher, for those that are unfamiliar, at AmFam Field / Miller Park. Are you still you can't let 3 games affect you, especially against the reigning AL champs. But are you still as hopeful, or are you starting to think maybe I was falling for the banana in the tailpipe a little bit on how encouraged people were coming out of spring training?
I tweeted yesterday that this brutal, disastrous start at the Bronx will make the World Series championship that much sweeter to tell the story of come October when the Brewers win it all. I am optimistic that they still have a chance to be in the mix at the end of the year. You can't win a division in April, but you can lose it. So it's important to not start like 1-9 would be panic time.
What does that mean? What?
You can't.
What does that mean?
You can.
It sounded
the Washington
so good,
Nationals
though.
won a World Series, and they're in 5th place in a 4-team division in July, the year they won it. So what the hell does that mean? You could lose it in April?
And
that doesn't make any sense.
How many other teams besides the Washington Nationals that one time have started 2-15 and have come back and won the World Series? Like, you can
probably not many.
You can
the White
overcome,
Sox last year.
Like, baseball is a long season. You can have a slow start, a sluggish start, a disastrous start like they had over the weekend, and still bounce back well, win 2 of 3 at home, go 500 on the road. You'll be in good shape, especially with 6 teams making the playoffs every year. But it's important not let the vibe be deterred too quickly in the season. I think Pat Murphy's great at adjusting that on the fly and making sure that that won't be the case. But if they were to start, like if they get swept by the Royals and they're 0-6 to start the year, I don't care what sport you're like. If the Packers lose like they did to the Saints 38-3, was it, in that first game of the year a few years ago? Like, they were able to overcome that awful start and still be the 1 seed in the NFC, which is
6 would be like us losing the home opener against Philly.
Yeah,
that's what that'd be like.
Right. And so, like, that can compromise the start to the year if it builds into the second football game or the 3rd, 4th, and 5th series of the season for the Brewers. Like, if this becomes a thing for the first 2 or 3 weeks that they're in a rut, which oftentimes teams will go into in the middle of the summer as opposed to right out of the gates, it can dissolve the momentum at the start of a season.
I don't feel like this team, because I am a big believer in the NFL because there's fewer games, that getting off to a fast start gets more guys believing that their year could be special, and it kind of can change, especially with a more of a veteran team or a younger team trying to figure things out, right? You get that confidence with if it's a quarterback, we're winning, we're doing things, we're off and going. Baseball is just a different animal, and a couple years ago when we got swept by the worst team in baseball, one of the worst teams in baseball.
Some people overreacted.
Baseball is just a sport where you don't overreact until you have to. And even if you go 0-12 to start, okay, you don't want to be 0-6. You prefer coming out of this 2-4 or 3-3. That's what you'd prefer. And then all of a sudden you just start kind of falling into your rhythm, but you will start pressing. And the thing that you worry about is if you're a young team and you start losing and you're 0-6 and you're 0-7, all of a sudden then you can't get into, oh, my God, the harder you squeeze, the old Dick Bennett line, the more you love something, you got to hold on. You don't want to hold on tightly. You got to hold on loosely. You start tightening up. And when you do that, great things typically don't happen. You end up letting a lot of things fall through your grip. And the case here, let's get one. You got a lot of emotion, obviously, with the Bob Uecker, all of the tributes that you're going to see. It's going to be a highly emotional, charged game. I think today is really
like senior
important.
Day.
I think it's really important because when you dump a lot of emotion into something, and if you don't win, then there's always the letdown after anyways. It's really a letdown if you dump everything in and you find a way to not win today and you're 0-4 and oh my God, we gotta find a win.
Then you start pressing.
That's when you start pressing, and that's when things can get sideways. So for as much as I don't want to agree with Jesse because I think it's a long season, when you factor in today and how emotionally charged it's going to be at AmFam Field, you need to find a way to win today, I think, to kind of quell everything else, stop talking about these bats and everything, and just get into who you are as a baseball team and let the guys have their kind of get into their rhythm of a season. Because if you're losing early and you're pressing, it's harder and harder to get into it. And then if you're chasing all season, you got to use all that emotional capacity just to try to find your way back in and not playing throw out in front. It can be a big energy suck on a season that you're always looking for ways to maintain your energy.
I also think for the people that are going to the game, like just assuming that the Brewers are going to take care of business against Kansas City because they've been awful for a long time. Remember, they made the ALDS last year. They won a wild card series, something we were not able to do. So don't sleep on them. They're a decent team. They've got some really good players on that team still. Like, this is going to be a battle, and if you lose today and then you go 1-5 in the first 6, like Tausch was saying, like that is not an ideal start for a team that can ride that momentum, and especially with the emotional charge that this series and today in particular has.
Yeah, I hope Christian Yelich hits a walk-off home run today. That's what I would love to see.
That would be awesome. I hope he hits a home run early in the game and they win going away. But what's crazy to me, 2 years ago, we had these discussions, and right now, if you had to say which Wisconsin professional team is in the worst spot, it's the Milwaukee Bucks of winning a championship.
Is this because of the tweet you sent us? Well, I mean, their second best player is out with a blood clot. One of their other crucial pieces has been suspended for 25 games. Like, I don't want to be prisoner of the moment guy like that tweet that you sent us, but a bunch of crappy things have happened this year. It has not gone well at different points. But
You've said that the last 3 years.
Yeah, but take out, you remade your roster around Giannis and Dame at the trade deadline, right? You take Damian Lillard off your team. Take the number 2 guy off all the other teams and see how they're doing too. It's a star-driven league. This is bad, right? You lose Damian Lillard, that's bad. And they can act like
all I'm saying is we went from being, I think you could make an argument 2 years ago when Jordan Love was taken over. Oh, we don't know about the Packers. The Bucks we feel really good about. And in the course of a year and a half or 2 years, I would say that I feel worse about where the Milwaukee Bucks stand than any other professional team.
Right, but do you feel great about the others? Like, the Packers lost their last 3 games last year.
I feel really good about Green Bay. I feel really good about Green Bay. I do.
But you always
I think
feel
most
good.
People do. Not always. I didn't feel good when they were 2-5. I didn't feel good. You guys were questioning my sanity on the show when we were 2-5, and I thought, I was a roller coaster. I couldn't. So, no, I didn't feel great then. But
they were never 2-5 last year,
What I'm trying to say is slow down on the Brewers. I think the Brewers are going to be just fine.
Okay.
I don't feel the same way about the Milwaukee Bucks.
Good advice.
At all.
Hey,
very concerned.
Do we know what Jaire does for a living?
I think he's taken over 565 with the Klinkster. I know we've had some issues with Canada recently, but I think we're still good with the Klinkster.
I think he might be a ticket broker. I don't know what he does, but he is having a very good
day.
Why
are you putting his business on the streets?
That's an inside joke. He's not a ticket broker, but he's been very busy in the, like, we've got Matt Coonan, who's like the most valuable texter. I would argue Jaire is the MVUC, most valuable YouTube chatter. He even translated.
You got to put a T in there too, then.
Well, YouTube is one word.
That's not, though. It's really not.
Okay. Be that as it may, He even translated "run your game" to Japanese. So he's had a pretty strong performance in there today. All right, we need to get to Whoa Nelly. Before we could do that, Tausch needs to tell us about UW Credit Union and how I've been a member of UW Credit Union far longer than he has.
You have, but I am a UW Credit Union member, and for every stage of life, UW Credit Union is here for every you. Proudly serving Wisconsin for over 90 years. They're going to help you reach your financial goals. And you know what, members, you get their money up to 2 days sooner with early payday, and you get a checking account with no monthly fees at UW Credit Union. Join today at uwcu.org. It's insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions do apply.
Dr. Denver Dan, previously known as Yama's new man, I think is what his old sign-on was. Public service announcement, don't bet on Tausch's hunches. Yeah, that's good advice. I think you should follow that advice. The advice I have for you next is stick around for Whoa Nelly. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Is it Waukesha or Waukesha? Brat or Brat? Is it ever okay to vacation in Minnesota? Wisconsinites can't agree on everything, but we can agree getting paid earlier is better. That's why UW Credit Union is making members direct deposits available up to 2 days earlier. Early payday at UW Credit Union. Join today. Federally insured by NCUA. Visit uwcu.org for details.
Madison's home of the Milwaukee Bucks.
Lillard lobs up top to Giannis. Whoa, what a play!
Wisconsin Badgers volleyball.
Underneath it, pump set, left side, powers it down. What a rally, and Wisconsin comes out on top.
And now, the Milwaukee Brewers.
Swinging a fly ball to left. It is back to the wall. Gone! Churio, a grand slam.
This is Madison's new home of the Milwaukee Brewers, 100.5 ESPN.
Being a Pella consultant means helping people build their dreams.
Customers really appreciate just how prepared we are. All the samples, the videos, pictures.
We are with you from start to finish. You literally have a friend from beginning to end and beyond with your project.
Our Pella team simplifies the process, taking time to listen and find the right solution for you. And right now, get windows as low as $22 per month and doors as low as $89 per month. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 3/31/2025.
Ben Brust here to tell you about the Princeton Club. If you're looking for a place where you can better yourself while having a wonderful atmosphere, you have it at the Princeton Club. Strong communities, strong body, and strong mind. All it takes is one small step to start today. You will see that you have everything you need in order to achieve all of your goals. Find your better tomorrow at the Princeton Club. 8 Madison locations where you go in there, you take a tour, and you realize this is a place for me. Find more at PrincetonClub.net.
You're only minutes away from a better buying experience at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb. Jim Rutledge here. What is a better buying experience? Well, that's the thing. You get to define it. It is the experience that is customized to you. What experience do you want at a car dealership? They can be your trusted friend or your trusted expert. So if you're in the market for a new or new to you Silverado, Colorado, Blazer, Trailblazer, remember, you're only minutes away from a better buying experience. And that's at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb.
Hi, this is Lee, inviting you to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. We got a great happy hour every day of the week from 4 o'clock to 7, and our patio during the summer is open too. If you're getting married, special occasion, a birthday, anniversary, or even a business meeting, we've got all the accommodations right here at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. You work hard and sometimes you're not sure what you want to do, where you want to spend your money. I want to encourage you to come into Ruth's Chris Steakhouse and say hello. It'd be a pleasure to meet you.
Get ready, Madison. The Packers Tailgate Tour rolls back into town on Wednesday, April 9th. Hey, it's Molly Brown from Jim, Matt, and Molly. Join us in supporting Dairyland Sports, a Madison-based nonprofit improving access to sports, fitness, and recreation for individuals with physical disabilities in Wisconsin. Learn more and support the cause at dairylandsports.org/Packers Tailgate. And stay tuned to ESPN Madison for your chance to win VIP tickets to the Packers Tailgate Tour. Sponsored by Visit Verona, Paul's Party, and ESPN Madison.
America is kept safe because the Army National Guard responds, protects, and supports our nation when it needs them most. The Army National Guard responds to disasters such as wildfires and floods. They protect us with missile defense, cybersecurity, and civilian support teams for chemical, biological, and radiological hazards. Be there for your community and your country. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about part-time service. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard. Aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
Brewers baseball is back.
Get up! Get up! Get out of here! Gone for Vinny Capra!
Hear the sound of summer right here on 100.5 ESPN, Madison's home for Milwaukee Brewers baseball.
Jesse, you've had kind of a quiet show. Time to change that with Wonelli.
If the topic is good, the guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocker's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I gotta stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
Wonelli
on Wilde and Tausch.
How much do you guys know about sports betting?
I know
enough.
the Potawatomi Casino Hotel has a beautiful sports book with really good salmon and scalloped potatoes.
Yes, you're big on the food there. Yes.
Excellent.
Which is very good. Do you know what a parlay is, Jason?
I do. I just watched a lengthy piece from last week tonight with John Oliver explaining how prevalent sports betting has become, which was very interesting to watch. It's on YouTube. It's worth your time if you're interested. Yes, and I also know that you're very unlikely to hit on parlays.
Correct.
The odds are against you.
So before I left Dubuque for our NCAA Tournament weekend extravaganza a couple of weekends ago, I put a $10 wager on the ESPN Bet app for all 4 number 1 seeds to reach the Final Four. Yeah, thank you. That was pretty.
It's only happened one other time in NCAA Tournament history, by the way.
2008. So I put that wager down, and then because it was like NCAA Tournament weekend, they had a little boosty thing where you could get a little bit extra on it. So I ended up having...
Was it a little devil or a gnome
it was not.
or a frog?
That's different. This was just a little, like a green arrow pointing up. Yeah.
Okay.
So I got, even better odds than most on it, which was pretty great. So this weekend rolls around. Obviously, all 4 number 1s are still in it. On Saturday afternoon, Florida should have lost, came back miraculously in the last 5 minutes, beat Texas Tech. They win. Duke takes care of business on Saturday night. Then yesterday afternoon, Houston goes up big on Tennessee, and I text my friend Corey, Tier 1 Corey in Chicago. I said, Corey, I might need some help. I think I need to hedge my parlay. Are you familiar?
He said, no, you fool.
Are you familiar with what hedging the parlay is?
I'm very familiar with hedging. I don't know about parlays, though.
So when you have multiple legs of a parlay and you are very close to winning it with just one result left, like you're guaranteed if... So I was guaranteed if... who played the last game? Auburn. If Auburn won, I was going to win $100 around. If Auburn did not win, I would win nothing. So what I did is I texted Corey in Chicago. I said, put $20 for me on Michigan State money line to win straight up against Auburn. So I'm sacrificing $20, where if Michigan State wins, I lose my original $10 bet, but I win $40 on Michigan State. Or I take the hit, I lose $20 from the $100 that I won. So it's a win-win once you get to that situation, but you're not winning as much as if you would just let it ride.
Tausch, are you still listening?
No, it's like
We're
1
close.
a.m.
We're close.
So I'm good. I think it's 1 a.m.
The question ultimately is it weak or smart to hedge the parlay in the situation I was in yesterday?
Turned out to be stupid. You gave away $20.
It turned out to be stupid, but it ensured a guaranteed victory.
I thought it was dumb.
I think anytime you can get a guarantee, I understand where you're coming from on it, but you go down there and you put that down. You put the $10 down to try to get a big hit, and you're either going to do it or you're not. It's not as if you had it was, I don't know if there's I don't want to sound all snooty-ish and anything, but you're either going to win $100 or you're not. And this way, you're gonna win $60, or you're gonna win $80, or you're gonna win 20,
40 or 80.
Yeah, is it? Is that changing your life?
It's not changing my life, no, but it's guaranteeing a victory.
I think it's the hall monitor's kind of right analytical play to do what you did.
Hall monitor analytics, not to be confused with 565 analytics.
No.
So
565 would have let it ride. We go with that.
So it was 10-1 odds. Is that what you're telling me?
Roughly, yeah, around that. I mean, it was like plus whatever. I don't have it up. I could look, but
okay. I'm just asking because that's a pretty nice win for you.
Yeah,
for $10.
it's a nice win. It was a nice win.
Now it's a little less nice.
Mm-hmm.
Ron in the key. In the YouTube comments, which apparently now is where he lives.
Yeah.
Says, Jesse, hedging wasn't dumb. How you hedged was dumb.
Oh.
So I, of course, said, how should he have hedged?
Oh, boy.
You had the favorite. You take the dog plus the points, so you might have been able to win both. Sounds like maybe Ron has put a shekel or two down during his time on this earth.
That is smart. Yeah.
Whoa, Nelly!
Speaking of the 1 seeds, all 4 of them are in the Final Four for the first time since 2008. Does this make you intrigued or not at all intrigued to watch the games next Saturday and Monday night's championship, which, by the way, they're starting 30 minutes earlier because everyone complained the last couple of years?
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, I'm intrigued. I think this is going to sound crazy to you.
Well, yes, it is.
I have been a anti-Dukeite for a long time.
Oh, no.
No, just hear me out.
You are
Since
not.
2015.
Don't do it.
You are not going to do it.
Don't do it, man.
Since 2015. The Coach K debacle and what he's done and everything else. I watched the Leitner special. I liked the Leitner teams, 92, 93. I thought that beating UNLV in 91 is one of those, sports moments. I'm not going to be upset if Duke wins the championship.
Because of Knipple?
Wisconsin guy. And I think John Shire, he ain't Coach K.
He does
All of a
seem
sudden
pretty
now
likable.
it's more about Duke than it is about Coach K, which I kind of like that too.
Well, he's not Coach K until he is.
Well, that's a good point. I'm starting to, because I've never liked the SEC because of their arrogance. It's going to be hard for me to root for an SEC team. So if I think Houston plays Duke, right, Jesse? I want to make sure I got this correct.
Duke and Houston play, Auburn and Florida play in the Final Four.
Okay, thank you. If Houston doesn't win, I got to go for Duke to win the championship because I can't get on board with an SEC team.
You want to root for Bruce Pearl, UW Milwaukee extraordinaire?
Bruce. Yeah, I like Bruce.
We like Bruce.
Yeah, but I don't like the SEC. So I'm kind of torn on this. I'll have to
clearly. Again,
I'm at 1:30 or 2 o'clock in the morning. I'll have to think through this a little bit, but I will say I don't hate Duke as much as I used to.
Well, that's very grown up of you. I'm impressed. Knipple, one of us, Wisconsinite. His mom was the all-time leading scorer at UWGB. All great things. I can't root for Duke. John Shire, very likable fellow.
Totally understand your point of view on it because I was there. But
I'm really surprised that you've gone this direction.
I have to evolve in life.
The new Duke?
I can't just sit here and – this isn't Coach K's team anymore. It's been 3-4 years. He can't take credit for a championship. Yeah. It was surprising to me to feel the way that I felt, too.
Yeah, pulling for the Yankees this season as well, apparently. All right, that is Wonelli.
Lakers.
Yeah,
Bucks
go
are
Lakers.
out. Go Lakers.
No.
Go Bron.
You don't have to worry about the Lakers. It's not going to be a rule.
So just to make sure we're all on the same page, Jesse, we have Brewers coverage across ESPN Wisconsin. So we are actually going to go late on our show today?
We get to go
Tausch
a couple
is barely
minutes late.
awake at this point.
Yeah?
It's 1 a.m. in Tokyo.
What?
Little OT. We get to go a couple extra minutes today.
What's goofy about that is I always am saying we could do more. Let's do a digi. And today I just want to – I'm ready. I'm at that point in my life. And now you're telling me you got to go longer?
OT.
What, I missed 2 weeks and you want me to work more? What the hell's going on around
You
here?
owe us at least 4 more minutes. That's what I would say.
That seems fair. I can handle that.
All right, well, there you have it. We will wrap things up in an extended edition. Get that man a cup of mud so he can make it through the next 8 minutes.
Quick trip, line 1.
Are you, in all honesty, because I've never traveled that distance.
Yeah, me either.
Are you struggling? You've been to Australia. That's even worse, isn't it?
I wasn't doing a show. It's just different. That's different. This was more condensed. This was more accentuated. I'm real curious how my kids do in school today. That's going to be real interesting.
You didn't build in the extra day off when you got back, which I think is maybe a miss.
Well, we did, but it was a different day.
Oh, this again.
We did build a day in.
It's already Thursday in Japan.
I mean, it's Tuesday in Japan, and today's Monday. That's a day. I don't know what else you want me to do.
All right, well, we will extend Tausch's longest day in the history of the show by a couple of extra minutes.
How is it still March? I don't understand that either.
Well, it's not in Japan.
Nicely done. It's Wilde and Tausch.
We're on the Packers.
If they're not better this year,
because we're on Wisconsin sports,
there's going to be a lot of seats warming up.
Nobody covers the green and gold like 100.5 ESPN.
It's the season of upsets and buzzer beaters. It's also the season of hate and threats directed at college athletes. 1 in 3 high-profile athletes receives abusive messages online, and female athletes receive 3 times as many. 1 in 5 college athletes reports experiencing mental health concerns, but less than half of them will seek support. BetterHelp is partnering with college athletes by providing a free month of therapy to any student athlete who visits stopthemadness.org. Visit stopthemadness.org today.
Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute is brought to you by The Jump Around. Don't miss new episodes of this exclusive digital show talking all things Wisconsin sports, premiering every Thursday at 12:30, streaming live on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. A changing system. Pro Football Hall of Famer and Wisconsin Badger legend Joe Thomas weighing in on college football's new landscape. During his appearance on Wilde and Tausch, Thomas with his solutions on a more level playing field in the NIL era.
It seems like there's enough people in Congress that see the problem. Who doesn't want to save college sports, right? Like, we want to see this fair, equitable, transparent, where the players are being rewarded and valued for their work and their income that they're creating for their university, for their programs. But there has to be more transparency.
Right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get windows as low as $22 per month and doors as low as $89 per month. Visit PellaWI.com today.
They did it again. For the 5th time, Siding Unlimited, the 30-year-old Wisconsin family-owned company, is the Pella Window and Door Company's Platinum Premier Certified Contractor of the Year in the whole USA. Siding Unlimited is here in Madison with a dynamic outside-in showroom. See Siding Unlimited's window, door, roofing, deck, and other great outside stuff inside at 2018 South Stoughton Road, south of Buckeye. See Siding Unlimited's frequent Instagram posts or go to sidingunlimited.com.
From color-changing alexandrite to shimmering zircon and everything in between at Chalmers Jewelers, you'll find high-quality, affordable, one-of-a-kind pieces. We source straight from the gem cutters, and we manufacture in-house from start to finish. As the manufacturer, we believe in truth in pricing. Never pay more for quality and stunning, beautiful jewelry. She's one of a kind, and so should her jewelry be. While others may send your jewelry dreams to someone else to make, with us, your dreams become reality with the help of our custom jewelers, with you involved the whole way. With a staff that has over 200 years of combined experience, why buy from a place that marks up jewelry made by the thousands? When you can buy direct from Chalmers for that one-of-a-kind piece that is better quality, often for less.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
And Madison.
Hey, ready to sweeten your game? It's time for Quick Trip's Nature's Touch Ice Cream. Ooh, making moves like the starting lineup of a championship team. Whether you're gearing up for the big game, celebrating a win, or just looking for a sweet break in the action. Chocolate, vanilla, cookies and cream, mint chocolate chip, and more. Yeah, there's no such thing as a bad pick. So why wait? Flavor doesn't scoop itself. Get your hands on your winning Nature's Touch Ice Cream flavor today. Only at Quick Trip.
Have you been waiting to buy your next home? Stop. Now is the time to get housed. What's up, Madison? It's Stacy from Bruner Realty. Nobody has a crystal ball to know what the future holds. The longer you wait to find your next home, the better the chance you'll be paying more for it than you would be today. Don't miss out on what could be the best opportunity to find your dream home. Contact our team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to help start your search. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. Let's get housed.
We're on the Badgers.
It was successful, but also disappointing. That's just what this season was. I don't think any of us went into this season going, they're going to be a 3 seed. They're going to be really good this year. They're going to be competing for a Big Ten championship again.
This is 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
He's got a Chevrolet that don't always run, and the radio never turns down. He's got a pedigree.
We don't need an excuse to be able to go over on time on Wilde and Tausch, but because we have some bonus minutes, and Tausch is still going strong as he adjusts to being back on our side of the international date line, let's get some clarification on how that date line was in fact drawn. Jesse, fill us in.
From ScienceABC.com is where
That's where I go for all my scientific information.
Some light reading today. All right, so in the 1700s or 1800s, we created the Greenwich Meridian, which was the
Greenwich.
point. And that was simply because at the time, England had the best navy. So when they were determining something over the body of water that they needed to designate as 0 degrees longitude to match the equator, England said, we got this. And they just kind of claimed 0 degrees longitude to be the Greenwich Meridian. So then the international date line, as time evolved, literally, and they tried to figure out, okay, time zones around the world so that noon in England isn't the same as noon being dark in the middle of the night in Japan. They figured out that the exact opposite end of the world from the Greenwich Meridian happens to be this line that goes through the Pacific Ocean where there's not a lot of life, quite frankly. Like there's a couple of countries here and there where they squiggle the line a little bit so they can use whatever side of it they want, but for the most part it doesn't really impact a bunch of people. So coincidentally it worked out where it's almost exactly the other side of the world. So that is how the international date line was formed, because the fewest amount of people will travel across that border, that line, where it will impact going from one day to another. So that is how the international date line was officially born.
So can we confirm that it does not go through any land masses?
Well,
you didn't check that fact, did you?
They said it goes around a couple of things. There's certain territories.
So it's not a direct line.
It's not a direct line. If it goes right through, they don't want two. They specifically call out they don't want two cities to have to determine whether you want to be one or the other. Like that would be silly. So
that would be silly.
That they do move it so it goes around, so each territory gets to choose what it wants. Now there was one line in this article that really
from Science ABC's.
Yes, it's from scienceabc.com.
Sounds like it's kind of a children's website.
A little bit. The international dateline is not part of international law, so countries are free to observe whatever dates they choose.
Oh, boy.
So it's not even binding?
That's dangerous. That's a dangerous precedent to be putting into play.
And with that, let's go to opening day.
Without further ado, that's it for us today. It's time for Brewers baseball across ESPN Wisconsin and on 620 WTMJ. Thanks to Tausch for pushing through his exhaustion. It is now on his body clock, 2:03 a.m. on Tuesday, April 1st.
Did the Brewers win?
Have a great... Well done, Jesse. Have a great day. Take care. Be good.
Miss any of today's episode of Wilde and Tausch? Presented by Pella Windows and Doors.